the worst van life of TikTok. Wait, the worst van life families on TikTok.
Kids sleeping on the floor, pets held in tiny cages, and this entire bathroom for a family of 5. Add some teenagers who can't fit, children calling.
Dude, a family of 5 in a van, 1 bathroom. I would, that would be the kicker for me. You know, let alone you having to sleep in a square footage space that's the size of a Kia. But also, 5 people to 1 bathroom. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's not even a bathroom. I've been zoned out. Dude, it's just a hole with a cloth over it. Oh my god. Yo, that's such a bad spot for the curtain too. Like if you're taking a dump, that's just hitting you in the face.
For a family of 5. Add some
what are they taking, sponge baths?
Teenagers who can't fit, children calling their beds coffins, and you're still just scratching the surface of the worst van life TikTokers. Take for example Red, White, and Bethune.
Okay, if you have like an RV, I think that's different. Like if your family lived in an RV, is that no? Because that's like a house. You know, there's a kitchen and a living room and a bedroom. It's like a full, you know, there's amenities. You're not living in a van that you drilled a hole in the floor of the fucking car for, so when you're driving, your kid can take a
7.4 million views.
Oh my god, dude, sleeping in that.
By showing how terribly unspacious their kids' beds were. This should be illegal. Those kids are gonna suffer in that space, man. To make
not even that it's not wide enough. You ever jump in your sleep when you're like fucking you're like about to pass out. You're like half asleep to where, you know, you're cognizant if somebody said your name, but you're also like low-key dreaming, and then you fall and you go wham and you jolt up, just smacking the shit out of your fucking head.
Beds were. This should be illegal. Those kids are gonna suffer in that space, man. To make matters worse, the beds had rock climbing holds instead of a ladder, which their daughter almost fell from whilst trying to show they were easy to use.
So Molly's gonna demonstrate getting in the bunk and show you just how easy it is.
How will they get down in the middle of the night when it's dark and they want to use the restroom urgently? What if they fall and hit their head? These so-called bunk beds were actually just shelves, yet the family still defended them as being spacious. At the same time, get this, the parents have a king-size bed.
Oh my god! No, is this an RV? Bro, why don't they split that room in half and then make it like multiple full beds? Yo, if they had like a twin or they were sleeping on like a full, that'd be different. They got a goddamn California king sitting there. You could starfish laying horizontally.
The reason why we put a king-size bed in our bus is because it's our lounging area.
As well as a massive desk for editing TikToks, forcing the kids to do their schoolwork.
You need a whole ass fucking workstation to edit a fucking TikTok, bitch. This is how I edit a TikTok. And then it's done.
A tiny kitchen table. If they don't help out with the van, the kids are punished publicly.
Last night, Molly chose not to do her chores. And if our kids don't do their chores, they have consequences.
Which the parents still defended even after heavy criticism.
Yes, our kids have consequences. Yes, if they don't do the chores, they're gonna have to pay. And to the trolls, keep on.
Bro, did y'all have like scheduled chores though? When you were a kid, my scenario was just like if I ask you to do something, that's when you do it. You know, like I didn't have like every day I have to wash the dishes. It was like go get the trash, take out all the trash. Okay, you know, some shit like that. Help me fucking wipe the windows. It wasn't like a scheduled thing. I didn't have a list.
See you guys on your For You page.
But wait, it still gets worse. Everything we've shown so far is in this bus here, yet they also have a van to take on holiday.
No, they sleep in that on holiday?
Which has
5 people?
Even less space than the bus.
Dude, what the fuck is that? Oh my god, they all sleep in that? No way 5 people fit in that fucking van.
Bus.
Come take a peek inside and see what we've done.
The van doesn't have a bed for everyone, meaning one of the kids sleeps on this leather chair. Maybe there'd be a bit more space if they didn't own 4 massive dogs.
Why do you have so many fucking dogs? The Chihuahuas, whatever. Why do you have this fucking big-ass poodle mix?
Which are shoved in a tiny cage below the bed.
What?
Yet they still have more space than the toilet. It's covered by nothing but a thin fabric sheet and sits right in the middle.
I'd go on protest, bro. I'd start smearing my shit on the walls. I'd take a dump right in the middle of the van. It'd be like we were playing Clue.
Tired of living in the first van, they're blessed with a trip in an even smaller one. Family of Nomads doesn't have this problem. In fact, they first went viral for
Ooh! 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 Yo, I would... See, that's a van life. That's a van life. That is a fat-ass couch. That couch is 30 feet long.
They first went viral for how much space they had.
God damn.
Leading to comments such as, I don't understand why y'all don't just buy an apartment.
Yeah, that's probably expensive as fuck to live in that
It's
RV.
way cheaper than this. People came to their defense stating, there is literally no reason to be mad at this, except for maybe how their kids were living. They'd show their room in this TikTok, with the most
How they got some boof-ass room when their living room looks like that?
notable part being that their eldest Addison was a 15-year-old teenager. You should ask your daughter how she feels that she has no privacy.
She has to fucking sleep in the same room as 3 of her siblings.
Because I'm sure she wants her privacy. Addison hates you. Just because this RV is nice and there's room for their clothes, it's no way to live. I'm
just thinking, if they got the bread to spend on yo, RVs are not cheap. Like, that RV is probably like over $1 million. Like, they could live in a nice-ass house.
sure the teenager would love to have privacy. Get her a curtain or something. Well, the family did exactly this.
We did install these curtains over each of their bunks so they have a little bit of privacy.
But it was still just one of many other problems. The kids were in a homeschool program, yet it's
No. I don't hate homeschooling, but it's how the parent does the homeschooling. Like, whether or not they actually give a fuck is the big thing. Because a lot of kids go, I just want to be homeschooled, right? Because they don't want to fucking go to class. And then they end up just cheating on everything and half-assing their work. Or if they, like, pursue, like, athletics or something. But if they're actually, like, homeschooled and learning everything, it's whatever. I just think if you were ever to homeschool a kid, you should put them in extracurriculars. Like, put them in, like, a club soccer league or fucking whatever outside shit they want to do. Because if you homeschool your kid and they don't do anything outside of homeschool, they will have no friends, no life, and be obscenely antisocial when they grow up.
It seemed most of their education was just walking through national parks where the parents thought they'd learn about.
And then that fucks you up for careers, too. Like, if you're going, I mean, obviously somebody that would be obscenely antisocial would probably not go to, like, a business degree. But say you want to do something where you have to do meetings, or you sit in a cubicle, or talk to coworkers. Like, fuck, dude. That you'd be, like, cripplingly antisocial.
Life.
Our lives are one gigantic field trip, and so a lot of what the kids do is by learning.
Oh my god, it's like the magic school bus. Do you think they ever go to, like, any, like, cool adventures?
Program, and it's incredibly educational. They're learning history from visiting different places around the country.
Please let this be a normal field trip. Yo, that's hilarious. Nah, Ty guy type that shit. I hope this one's a normal field trip.
Exploring, they do a traditional homeschool curriculum, and then the days that we're exploring, we still count those as school as well.
So they just learn US history? Lol, when they go to college, they'll be in for a shock. Oof, that's scary.
They go on a field trip. They give them points and shit when they just go to the Grand Canyon for their history class.
There's a reason schools aren't one giant field trip, and this is a very good point. Schools are for more than simply learning subjects. They help build social circles and prepare kids for a disciplined way of life, both of which are neglected when strolling around the country.
It prepares you to do shit that you fucking hate. That's what high school prepares you for. Yes, you learn a lot of subjects, but high school gets you to fucking suck it up and get work done that you deem as pointless. Because that will likely be half of the shit you do when you're 35, right? Like, I'm just now getting to the tip of the iceberg of having to deal with adult shit, right? Like, I just turned 22. I'm just now having to be, like, you know, locking it in. And it sucks. But it's also rewarding. But if you weren't able to get through, like, if you never did any of that, you would be in shock when you get to the stage of life where you actually have to fucking do shit.
The rat cage that stunk out the van.
We live in a camper and our 3 kids have 3 pet rats, and I would be absolutely lying to you if I said that it does not smell bad. Usually it's the kids' job to clean the rat cage, but about once every month.
Why do you have rats? Like, I see those shits at PetSmart, and I'm like, why? What? I would own a mouse. A rat? Like, okay, maybe they're like one of those like pet rats that's not like a New York City rat, but like I don't think I'd ever buy a rat.
They're 2, my husband and I will clean it, and it just gets really gross.
As well as collecting firewood, as seen in Addison's day in the life. Yet people were still
Bro, they're collecting fucking twigs off the ground. That ain't no damn firewood.
at 16. Yet the mother went on to state, I honestly don't know a single unhappy RV kid. She'd even post the following TikTok to try and convince the audience.
A lot of people ask us if the kids actually enjoy traveling full time and living in the camper, and I will have to say that while we were at the RV show in Tampa this week, Grace and Addison both went around and looked at campers because their plan is when they move out, they want to live in a camper together and travel the country.
Until another video told it.
And how are they gonna make money? How are they gonna... Somebody said they're gonna move out when they're 18. With what? With what? Dog, moving out at 18 is not feasible in 2024 in the United States. You're not just an adult thrown out into the world. Dog, you have no money. You have no money. You don't know how taxes work. You don't know what you have to pay for. You don't understand anything. I don't understand half of that shit. It's been fucking 4 years. And you're just gonna get, oh yeah, no, yeah, go buy an RV. Understand the insurance. Hey, how are you gonna make money for this fucker? Because it probably gets 5 miles per gallon.
Back in treatment and won't be in our content during this time. To protect Addison during this time, we would like to ask for privacy on this matter.
Perhaps the daughter was unhappy for a totally different reason, yet there was still more evidence that she despised the van.
For Addison's 15th birthday, the only thing they wanted was to go to a hotel.
The video has since been deleted, although
The only thing they wanted...
after arriving at their hotel, twice Addison mentions liking doors in the video, a hint at them having less privacy in the camper. With conflicting messages about Addison's happiness, people commented, I can't wait for this gen of van kids to grow up and share their thoughts with the world, although this had happened much sooner than expected. On the r/offmychest subreddit, an anonymous account made the following post. I'm a teen in a full-time RV living vlogging family, and I can't stand it. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate being homeschooled. I hate not being able to maintain a social life. I hate having so little privacy. I hate having to pretend to be happy with this. We travel full time. I know, it sounds like a dream. I thought so too, but it's an effing nightmare. I just want a private normal life, but no.
Well, you can't have... Dude, traveling is like... I feel like traveling the world is something you should do when you already have like a found set base of friends. Like, that's why people travel when they're like 25, 26. Because it's like you have a bit of spending money and you have like, you know, people that you're gonna know. But if you've never made foundational friendships and you start road tripping at the age of 6, you're never gonna make friends. Because anybody you talk to, you're just gonna immediately never see again.
Had to ruin it with their crunchy way of parenting. It's all fake, by the way. Not what I meant when I said I wanted to take up acting. I'm frustrated all the time, I'm tired all the time, I'm bored all the time. Please stop supporting these
What about in retirement? People, you shouldn't wait to travel the world till you're retired because you're probably going to be too old and not want to. Some people do, but if you're like 65, you're not going to be like, let's go to fucking Switzerland. I mean, you might, but... The majority of people that want to see the world also want to do the activities in that world. You're not going to be like, let's go to Costa Rica. You'd be like, dude, grandpa, you're 75. You want to fucking go to Costa Rica?
Ruined my life and I can't say anything about it. In comments, the poster clarified, I'm between 15 and 17 years old, and they were the oldest of 3 siblings, hinting it was Addison from Family of Nomads.
Okay, the only other thing that I want to say is, I mean, I realistically it's not, because it's like, who the fuck would write this long of a message? But knowing the family's been on TikTok for years, couldn't this just be somebody posing as them because people are already saying the kid hates it? Like, it might just be somebody acting like them. Odds are, probably not. Probably is actually them, but I mean, realistically, it's not definitively them.
Who the poster was has never been confirmed, yet only a couple of months later, the family announced they were instead buying a house. Family of Nomads recently quit van life. Their kids seemed the happiest they'd ever been, while the parents were in tears as the RV was stored away. The eldest daughter has since vanished from the videos.
Tears. I mean, that'd be like crying when you're moving. Do people cry when they move? I mean, maybe if you're attached to that house for your whole life, but a fucking RV? I'd be like, dude, get me the fuck out of that thing. Get me in a house. Normally you should, I don't know. Because, like, I feel like you should be excited to move to a new house. But I would understand you missing the memories or whatever of that old house.
Summarizing what van life's like for kids. RV kid here. Let me tell you, RV is hell for children. I've been living in a camper with my 3 brothers and parents, and these past 2 years have been an absolute detriment to my mental health. Yes, it's an amazing opportunity I've been given to have seen all the places that I have, but I can't recall a single positive experience anywhere I've been. I receive little to no education, and I'm scared I won't be able to pass my GED.
Wow.
I'll probably be repeating high school once I turn 18.
Yeah, most people like 0 to 5.
The happy caravan, however, clearly ignored this.
Family of 13? No way they fit in one fucking RV, dude.
Warning. They began by documenting their life as a family of 12 and were mostly liked by the audience until revealing they lived in a tiny apartment. Is that legal? Having so many in a 2-bedroom? Why would you
13 people in a 2-bedroom apartment? Holy shit, dude.
make the choice to have a family of 12 but not be able to provide them?
Dude, on God. On God, though. Like, if you want to pop out fucking 15 children, your life. But you better be rich. Like, you should have you should have a lot of money. And even on top of that, when do you stop? Somebody having 2, 3, 4, hell, 5 kids. Okay, that I get that. I would never really want to have more than 2 or 3, but at the end of the day, if you want to have 5 kids, have 5 kids. When you have past 10 children, when do you go, all right, this is the last one? Like, what's the cutoff mark? Like, when you can't have children anymore? Or are you just, like, stopping at 26 and going, I think that's enough, We could have a whole football team.
Them sufficient room/space, although their holiday setup was somehow even worse. They'd fit the entire family into one single Airstream, gaining 12 million views
When
by
they hit menopause? Yeah, I think that'd be a little too late.
showing how they slept. The 3 daughters were on a table converted to a bed, while another
Dude.
2 slept below their brother, who was sleeping in a bunk. A different brother slept on the couch, the baby in its cot, and of course the 2 parents had their own massive bed.
I don't want to say the parents are fucking stupid, but people get bigger as they get older, and they cost more money because they eat more, they need more things, and they do more. What are they gonna do in like 5 years when all of their kids are in high school or some shit, or half of them are in high school? I mean, because they have 12 kids, so the oldest one's probably 12 years older than the youngest one, unless somehow they're fucking popping out triplets and then immediately cranking another one in the old oven. But anyways, what are they gonna do when what are they going to do when they can't fit in the fucking bed and they're still in a 2-bedroom apartment with 12 people.
So what about the last 2 kids? Well, they got to sleep directly on the hardwood, described as
Oh my god.
not perfect, but more comfy than a tent.
More comfy than a tent? That's what we're going with? Yo, he's sleeping on the fucking floor. This kid is they didn't even have a blanket, bro. He got a pillow and a blanket. And he ain't even laying on one. He just got the floor and a blanket on top of him.
Perfect, but more comfy than a tent. You have 2 kids sleeping on the floor just for vacation and we mix it up. In our YouTube video, Dad is on the floor, which by doing some digging was seemingly true. Hilariously, after being criticized, the parents magically found a
They get him a pool floaty to sleep on? Dude, what is that?
Being criticized, the parents magically found Enoch a blow-up mat in the closet.
Oh my god, okay, it's a blow-up mat.
But for the most part, the family isn't all that bad, especially compared to wild family life.
Dude, how are they getting worse?
Called the most hated van life family on TikTok, mainly for their bizarre family dynamic. The page is run by mother Nadine, who lives in a van with her 3 kids, along with both her ex-husband and her new boyfriend, who she refers to as a homeless junkie she met on the streets. According to her TikToks, they're not polygamous but live together in harmony, being able to do so because they have the biggest front yard. The criticism, however, always extends to the kids. They call their education.
Wait, what? So she has 3 kids. She's not with her husband anymore, but he still lives with her, and she's dating a homeless guy.
Program, homeschooling, world schooling, travel schooling, adding they help whenever necessary, but they don't follow any official program.
Technically, I don't follow any curriculum, but we have this app my kids learning with there.
We have this app. It's called ABC Mouse. It's called ABC Mouse. It's called CBS Kids.
Set their times each day. They do that by themselves. There's nothing I have to do.
Help them if needed explains everything. Doomed to fail. They'd respond to the hate with the world's most hippie message.
The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion.
Adding their kids are extremely satisfied with the life that they're living.
People think, oh, poor children, poor children. But trust me, my children, they wake up with a smile in their face. They go to bed with a smile in their face.
Yet it's perfect to finish with this comment here. When I was a child, I would have been very happy to eat nothing but candy and potato chips all day. But my mother did not let me because she knew better. It's a parent's job to do what's best for their children, not just what makes them happy.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. If you let a kid do whatever they want, they would probably die in like a day. They would probably just eat obscene amounts of candy, vomit everywhere, and then go somehow get like run over by a car. Lock in here, chat. Next video. The bizarre death of the Peanut Butter Jelly Time singer.
In late 2001, a song was released called Peanut Butter and Jelly by the musical
Peanut Butter Jelly Time
duo The Buckwheat Boys and the producer Chip Man. In 2002, the song took the internet by storm. Perhaps it provided the comfort people needed in a post-9/11 world. The song's popularity came from a viral video of a flash-animated banana dancing to it. And
what is the actual song like, though? Is it just that repeated for like 2 minutes straight?
I sincerely apologize if you've spent the last 22 years trying to get that song out of your head. But you probably don't know that it was actually a nuanced political commentary on the military-industrial complex, with the
What? Peanut Butter Jelly Time was a political point.
Peanut butter symbolizing the U.S. government, and the jelly being Lockheed Martin. I'm kidding, the song was pretty much
okay.
meaningless. But it has maintained a strong legacy over the years, appearing on Family Guy, being featured in several ad campaigns, and now even influencing a skin in Fortnite. Unfortunately,
Did the peanut butter jelly time banana influence the Fortnite banana skin? I don't know. I don't know if those two are correlated.
Peanut butter and jelly in question comes with a glass of deeply depressing milk. And that's because in late 2002, the singer of Peanut Butter and Jelly died in a police standoff.
What?
The Buckwheat Boys originally consisted of Jermaine Fuller and Marcus Bowens, with 2 other members later being added. Here's a picture of the 2 founding members, and here's a picture of Jermaine Fuller, the subject of our story. And I'm sorry that these are some of the lowest quality images you've ever laid eyes on, but I guess the song wasn't called Peanut Butter and High Definition Cameras.
Y'all ain't know this. What do you mean y'all ain't know this? Like, this is just common knowledge that the Peanut Butter Jelly Time singer, Jermaine something, died in a police standoff in 2002. Who the fuck knows that?
Our story starts on a warm August night in Las Vegas, when a man flagged down a police officer to tell him that he had just been confronted by another man wielding a gun. The gun wielder was Jermaine Fuller, who had fired a shot at the guy but missed. Based on the description of Fuller, another police officer recognized him at a bus stop and got out of his car to talk to him. But Jermaine Fuller whipped out his gun and shot the officer in the head and chest.
What?
Thankfully, the first bullet only grazed the side of the cop's head, while the other one hit him in a bulletproof vest, rendering the officer virtually unharmed. Meanwhile, another police officer pulled up to the scene only for Fuller to shoot at him as well. This time, the bullet went through the car's windshield
He didn't fucking get up and leave. He just sat at the bus
and
stop.
across the officer's shoulder, reportedly shredding the fabric on the cop's uniform, but leaving him untouched. So, with all 3 people he fired at being completely fine, it's safe to say that Jermaine Fuller wasn't exactly a sharp shooter. I guess they were right when they said he was a one-hit wonder.
This guy's got some jokes. This guy's got some jokes. I like this guy.
Anyway, Jermaine Fuller then
He's a one-hit wonder. Yeah, because you can't hit anything.
made his way over to an apartment complex near the campus of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. He forced his way into an apartment and took the 2 men living there hostage. And I
He
can
didn't just go back to his house?
only assume it was an extremely traumatizing experience for the 2 hostages, although probably not as traumatizing as attending UNLV. Once the cops realized where Fuller was, they evacuated the entire complex and sent in a SWAT team. And I'm sure everyone living there was thrilled about having to get out of bed in the middle of the night on a Monday because the singer of Peanut Butter Jelly Time was holding their neighbors at gunpoint. And this was when...
Yo, did y'all see Justin Timberlake got a DUI? He got a DWI, not a DUI. Driving while intoxicated. He said he had 1 martini. I mean, how drunk do you think he was off 1 martini? I mean, you probably could get a DUI off that. It's just whether or not he was lying or, like, he was at, like, 0.08. And they were just like, yeah, DWI. Travis got arrested in Miami?
the standoff began.
For what?
The police surrounded the apartment, but
People saying Travis got arrested for what? A DWI as well? He got arrested for disorderly intoxication. That is hard. That means he was, like, rowdy, right? He got arrested at 1:44 in the morning for being too drunk and trespassing. Bro, you know how drunk you have to be to get arrested for being drunk? Like, you have to be walking around, like, fucking screaming at people. Like that's, you have to be like, oh, fuck you, dude. Just, like, walking around in the middle of the night. Just fucking, and trespassing. Yeah, but realistically, you just fucking walk away. Oh, he just said he wouldn't yell. He wouldn't leave. He was yelling obscenities when they told him to leave. Meh, whatever. Just being drunk, getting in problems.
Fuller refused to exit peacefully. After about an hour, the 2 hostages managed to escape by diving out a window. Although they were on the first floor, so let's not give them too much credit here. Even with the hostages being gone, the police still couldn't enter the apartment because Fuller was in there firing shots. He even moved furniture to barricade himself inside.
Wow.
A police negotiator tried convincing...
You know what I don't get, though? Is, like, if you're in a police standoff, what's the plan? You know? Like, is it that you're just gonna barricade yourself in there for the rest of your life? I wonder what his issue was that caused this. I don't know, but I'm saying, like, if you hold somebody hostage in, like, a bank robbery, you're just trying to get money and then leave. But if you're, like, you shot a police officer and now you're held up in a fucking building It's like you're too far in to where like, okay, now you're not going to be able to get away.
As strange as this whole thing might seem, it hasn't even reached its weirdest moment. At some point during the standoff, Jermaine Fuller contacted a local TV news station, perhaps assuming that his story was receiving coverage. But consider—
Oh my God, don't tell me it wasn't. Yo, ABC News, you got me on the air, right? No, who is this? Jermaine. Jermaine who? From Peanut Butter Jelly Time. Yeah, the song? What song? With the banana. Oh, the banana. What happened? They're holding me hostage. Well, actually, I was holding somebody hostage. Okay, well.
Considering this was in Vegas, it probably wasn't even in the top 10 most interesting things happening at that moment. Still, he told the TV station that he had a famous relative who he wanted to talk to. That relative was his brother-in-law, Calvin Brodus, also known as Snoop Dogg.
His relative is Snoop Dogg's name is Calvin Brodus. Bro, I'm always like astonished when it's always with rappers because they always have the nicknames. But it's like, what's like Lil Uzi's real name? Samir Woods. It's like another rapper. Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne's real name, though, is Dwayne Carter. Like, that's not that shocking. Some actors, though, like Vin Diesel real name is Mark Sinclair. We've talked about that. Like, a lot of actors change their name legally to something that's a better stage name. Kirk Douglas. Dove Cameron used to be Chloe Hoffman. See, what the fuck made her change her name to Dove Cameron when her real name was Chloe Hoffman? John Legend's real name was John Stevens. Nicki Minaj, but hers was just Onika Minaj. Charlie Sheen used to be Carlos Estevez. Carlos Estevez. Like, how are they coming up with these names? Miley Cyrus's real name is Destiny Hope. Or it was. She changed it. Miley Cyrus used to be named Destiny Hope. What? Like, that's what I just don't get. Bruno Mars. Peter Hernandez. Where are we getting these name changes from? Bruno Mars used to be known as... Bruno Mars' real name is Peter Hernandez. Where is Bruno Mars? Dude, Travis Scott? What? Professionally known as Travis Scott. He is legally known as... How do you say this? Jaquez? Jaqui. How do you say that? Jaqui. How do you say that? Jock? That would just be Jock. Jock Berman Webster II. Where's Travis and Scott come from? What's Post Malone's real name? Austin Richard Post. That's not like, that doesn't surprise me because Post is in his name. When it's like, Snoop Dogg, yeah, no shit, he wouldn't be fucking named Snoop Dogg. But it's like, Peter Hernandez, Bruno Mars.
That's right, Snoop's wife Shantae is Jermaine Fuller's sister. And Jermaine decided to turn to Snoop in his darkest hour, like so many of us have. And the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department decided to roll with it. They reached out to the LAPD and requested help with this odd situation. So in the middle
of... What the fuck is Snoop Dogg gonna do for him? Yo, man, I'm in a police standoff in Vegas. All right. What do you want me to do about it?
The LAPD sent someone to Snoop Dogg's house to ask for his assistance. And Snoop was reportedly very willing to help, presumably after he had finished frantically hiding several ounces of weed. The LAPD put Snoop in touch with the police negotiator, who asked Mr. Dogg to record a message urging his brother-in-law to surrender. Snoop did exactly that, reportedly telling Jermaine Fuller, "Do what they say. We've got lawyers to take care of this. We'll take care of it."
Could a lawyer get you out of a police standoff where you tried to fucking shoot 4 cops? I don't know. I don't know if a lawyer, like, I don't know if Jayoma could get you out of that. I think Jayoma could get people out of a lot of things. I don't know about shooting 4 police officers, holding two people hostage, and then getting in a police standoff. Jayoma could do it. Jayoma films a video the next day. He's like, "So what were you getting accused of? Attempted murder against 4 officers. burglary, breaking and entering, holding 2 people hostage, and doing a police standoff, and having a gun that was unregistered. And what did you end up getting charged with? Nothing. He got people out of sexual assault cases and worse. Yeah, but getting one guy out of one sexual assault case is easier for him than getting a dude out of holding 2 people hostage, trying to kill 4 cops, and then breaking into somebody's house and fucking standing off and getting a SWAT team to come. Like, they're too, like, I understand JAMA can get people out of things, but it's probably easier for JAMA to get people out of sexual assault allegations than you actually holding people hostage.
And the police...
Allegedly. I love how they say that, too. JAMA will be interviewing them. He's like, what'd you get accused of? Well, allegedly, I rubbed my whole body with Nutella and ran naked through a public park. And what did you get charged with? Stealing the Nutella. That's it, though. Innocent until proven guilty? Well, yeah. No, I agree with that. I believe that is just the right that every citizen should have.
Wasn't enough to convince him to surrender.
And I will say, I think there are situations where people aren't. Where people are guilty until proven innocent, which I think is the reverse of what it should be. But I mean, it really depends on the situation.
Maybe he thought Snoop would tell him to sneak out the air vent or something. Around 10 a.m.
Snoop Dogg, he's like, record a message for me. He goes, okay. Okay, based on the diameter of that vent, I think your body's going to be able to fit through it. If you're able to hold them off for 2 days and maybe find some laxatives, maybe lose 3 to 4 pounds, 4.7 pounds, you'll be able to fit through that vent. When you crawl through that vent, I'm going to make a noise distraction to where they think you're still in there. Then you're going to crawl out of that vent, you're going to get out of there, and I'm going to have a helicopter waiting for you 4 miles away. You're going to have to hike through the woods. But once you get there, we're going to take you to Argentina.
The SWAT team entered the apartment with tear gas and flashbangs, only to find Jermaine Fuller dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And I'm sure the residents of that apartment were thrilled to be let back in after they had been held at gunpoint, escaped...
Stark for the 3. Dove Cameron changed her name because her dad committed when she was 15 and he would call her Dove. That is so sad. That is so sad. Oh my god. See, like, that's like a reasonable... That makes sense. Oh my god.
Through a window, had their walls shot up, had their furniture used as a barricade, and then had someone shoot themselves inside the apartment.
Wait, what? He killed himself?
Only to find Jermaine Fuller dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And I'm sure the residents of that apartment were thrilled to be let back in after they had been held at gunpoint, escaped through a window, had their walls shot up, had their furniture used as a barricade, and then had someone shoot themselves inside the apartment. Not to mention that they were still students of UNLV. The sad passing of Jermaine Fuller also marked the end of the Buckwheat Boys, who split up instead of carrying on without their bandmate. Truly the Led Zeppelin of their time. There's very little information about the other members, but the archive of their now extinct MySpace page reveals what happened to them. According to the bio, the band's co-founder Marcus Bowens, quote, found God, turning into one of Gumbo, Alabama's most respected gospel artists. As nice as that sounds...
Gumbo, Alabama. Gumbo, Alabama. I mean, that's like an accurate what happened. One of Gumbo, Alabama's most respected gospel artists. Not the most respected. How many respected gospel artists are in Gumbo, Alabama? Is that like a hard fucking workspace to get into? Is that like you gotta wedge yourself in there? You gotta fight up the corporate ladder to be on the top of Gumbo, Alabama's gospel artistry? What is their population? Let's take our guesses. Is that even a real place? Gumbo, Alabama. Is that not a real place? Gumbo, Alabama is not a real fucking city. No, this is a fucking business named Gumbo. Gulf United Metro Business Organization. Why would you name your fucking business acronyms to spell out Gumbo?
Dougie Williams, the drummer of the band, quote, turned his pain inward and took it out upon himself. His lust for women and drugs grew threatening to his health, and on November 14th, 2003, was admitted to a shelter for drug offenders. Jeez, I guess it wasn't always peanut butter jelly time for these guys. But to end on a nice note, the MySpace page said that the keyboardist J.J. O'Neill pursued his dream for music stardom and found his way on stage. J.J. is now headlining his local theater's rendition of Cats.
His local theaters rent, and he only plays Cats. Like, he doesn't, like, there's no other plays that he does. It's just only Cats.
The paths of life. They may be windy, but they always guide us forward. May we all end up in the places we most belong. May we all one day find our local theater's rendition of Cats.
Or go to Gumbo, Alabama and see one of the most respected gospel artists. All right, let me actually listen to what other songs the Buckwheat Boys have come out with. They came out with one called Ice Cream and Cake. It's literally just the same beat as Peanut Butter Jelly Time. Bro, I really don't think that's a good song at all. But, like, if I'm being real, that's like a horrible song. It's like a meme thing. It's like Nyan Cat. All right, next.
Andre the Giant, how amazing genetics makes life impossible.
Andre the Giant's size gave him everything.
The largest and highest paid and best known wrestler in the entire world.
Once being listed by the Guinness Book of Records as the highest paid wrestler ever. These same genetics, however, made his life a living hell, with Andre famously stating, "I would give much money to be able to spend one day per week as a man of regular size." When he was born,
at what height does life become impeding? That didn't even make sense as a fucking question. Like, at what height do you have to reach for life to be harder than if you were 2 inches shorter? I think like above 6'6". I think if you're 6'5", you're still athletically the same, and physically you could still fit through doorways, and like, you know, most stores have your size shoe and shit like that. Anything 6'6" and above is where it's like you're hitting your head on a fucking doorway. You have to get custom shoes. You have to get custom pants, suits. Like, you can't fucking shop at regular stores. 6'6", it's pretty difficult for me. Yeah. I think you're right on the edge, though, where, like, there's still some things that aren't a problem for you. I think anything 7 foot and above, life just starts getting annoying. Like, even sitting on a toilet. That's, like, immediately what I'm thinking. Or standing in a shower, like, where you're above the shower head. You know what I mean? Like, that's bad. Where this is the shower head, and then your whole head's above it, so you have to go, like, to, like, wash your fucking hair. Getting in cars. Yeah, shit like that. But he's already fucking huge. Andre the Giant, I mean, he's dead now, rip in the chat, but Andre the Giant was like 7'2", and what, like 500 pounds? He was big. He was bigger than the Big Show. When did he die? 1993. He died at 46. He was 7'4". Dude, 520 pounds is nuts. Like, that would, like, if he sat in a car, the car would, like, lean whatever way he was sitting.
18 pounds or 6 whole kilos, which is almost double the average male baby, weighing 3.3 kilos or 7.5 pounds. Growing up, Andre played soccer, with his childhood friends stating he used to be the goalie, but the ball would never go in because he was so big. By the age of 12, Andre was 6'3" and 240 pounds.
Oh my god, bro. He's like fucking college wrestler size at 12.
Pounds or 108 kilos.
240? 240?
When in school, I was bigger than all the kids.
He was too big to fit on the local school bus, and his family didn't have the money to buy a car that could deal with his weight. As a result, Andre left school to work on a farm, where one day a friend of the farm's owner drove slowly past the field in a Rolls Royce. "I will own such a car as that someday," Andre said quietly. "Stop dreaming and start raking," his father replied. "You are a big boy, but that dream is too big even for you."
I said to my dad, someday I could get a car.
I would just get into fighting, man. Or the NBA. Do you think he would have been good in the NBA? I feel like he's too blocky. Yo, he probably could have been crazy, though. You think he's too big? I think he's too big, like, muscle-wise. Like, I feel like most 7-foot-plus guys in the NBA are very lanky. NFL? Yeah, he probably could have been nuts in the NFL. Oh, my God.
Quit dreaming and keep walking.
According to his brother, Andre did the farm work of 3 different men and would drive an unregistered car as the cops wouldn't dare to stop him. When he tried to join the military,
Andre was deemed unfit for service as there were no shoes.
Andre was deemed unfit because he was too big. Also, yeah, he is a target, bro. Fuck. I think that's, 7'4"? My God.
Who's big enough, bunks long enough, or trenches
is a moving target
deep enough to accommodate him.
Yet these same issues made him a wrestling sensation. He'd officially become Andre the Giant, a famous televised wrestler.
You think he could, like, crush somebody's skull by just going like that? Maybe not a full-grown man, but, like, somebody with, like, a smaller head, he could probably just go, and just break it. He's not Thanos. See, now you're going to have me Googling a very crazy question. How much pressure is needed to crush a human skull? 520 pounds of force. 2 arms. Andre the Giant, 2 hands around your head. He could go like that and snap your skull.
His own parents didn't recognize him when he came back home.
My parents, they was a big fan of me on the film and TV, but they don't know.
Your parents were a fan and they didn't know it was you.
No, because I changed my name.
At over 7 foot tall and
Well, they didn't recognize their kid.
500 pounds or 227 kilos, Andre saw a doctor to figure out why he'd grown so much. Acromegaly was the diagnosis, a rare 1 in 12,000 brain tumor causing the body to produce excessive growth hormone.
1 in 12,000 doesn't seem that rare, though. Am I wrong? Because there's not that many 7-foot tall people in the world. 1 in 12,000 seems like there would be way more. Yeah, that's not that rare. 1 in 12,000 would mean that, like, somebody in your town has this.
Leads to extra large hands, feet, and fingers, as well
Dude, like, him holding a regular beer can like that.
as a bigger jaw, nose, lips, and tongue. According to Ripley's Believe It or Not, his fingers were so big around that the ring he wore had an opening that could easily fit a silver dollar, which is 38.1 mil. To put the size into perspective, the average man's finger is around 10 to 11 mil around.
All right, chat, say it. Chat, say it. This is what you guys do every time we watch a video about people that have, like, big hands. Oh, I bet his wife likes him. Oh, he only needs 1 finger.
This could be seen in interviews like this.
This is his ring, and I kid you not, I can get all 3 fingers in that ring.
With people on Reddit adding, favorite fact is that Andre was so large, he could push a hard-boiled egg through his...
Yo, that's such a random thing to test. That's just such a good size comparison, though. He can fit a hard-boiled egg in his ring. That makes it make sense in my head.
Wedding ring. My wife met him once and instead of a handshake, she said she could only shake one of his fingers. These elements made him so unique that when doctors offered to remove his tumor, Andre bluntly refused.
That he didn't want treatment at that time because he thought it would interfere with his career as a wrestler.
It stated, if this is the size that God wanted me to be, I'm going to be this size.
I use what I got.
Well, I mean, if they got rid of the tumor, wouldn't he have stayed the same size and just not grown?
God give me. I'm not supernatural. I just myself. So what God give me, I use it to make a living.
However, this gave him a short life expectancy.
The commissioned doctors at Madison Square Garden told me he's going to be lucky to live to be 40.
And meant he'd keep on growing until the day he'd die. By the time he'd joined the WWE, Andre had reached 7'4", peaking at 560 pounds or 225 kilos.
Dude, how much do you think he had to eat every day for him to be able to grow to be that size? Because even if he has the brain tumor, which causing him to grow, he has to just eat sheer amounts of food. I remember hearing stories about him drinking like a 30 rack, like before an event. And they would go out, like him and Hulk Hogan would go out after an event and he would drink like 4 bottles of wine with dinner. And he wouldn't even be drunk.
What size boot is that, Andre?
It's 22, size 22.
Take a look at that along my size 9.
This made him the most successful wrestler ever.
Without a doubt, Andre was the most famous wrestler in the world.
Yet it also continued to make his life harder.
It's difficult everywhere I go. They don't build anything for big people. They build everything for blind people, for crippled people, for some other people, but not for big people.
Andre was constantly visiting new cities.
The nature of your job, you're traveling all the time, aren't you?
Oh my God. Bro, he doesn't look real. Holy shit. That's him, like, chat. If we were just sitting in that chair, like, you would, like, look how small that guy looks next to him. Like, he genuinely looks like, I feel like I'm watching, like, Lord of the Rings right now. And I'm seeing, like, an actual giant.
Aren't you, like 320 nights a year?
Yes.
Which came with its own set of challenges.
Hotel beds, are they a problem?
I try to find a hotel where they got a king-size bed. The worst is when I go in Japan, all those cars are so small.
Sure.
Even in a hotel, I can go through the door, I can go to the bathroom, everything.
Oh my God. Do you think he would break a toilet if he sat on it? Like, do you think he has to get special toilets? That shouldn't be on him, though. Like, if he goes to a hotel and sits on a hotel toilet and it breaks, like, that's not his fault. Plug for the sub.
Andre was too large to fit inside most cars.
When I'm traveling with a car, I need 2 cars.
That's right. You can't even get in it.
There's nowhere for the giant to live anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you can put 1 car in each foot.
Taking a taxi wasn't a better alternative.
Funny story, one time we couldn't get a taxi because he was so big.
And when they finally got one, Andre was charged extra.
We ask him how much he has, and we see the counter, he charges double. So you're a big guy, you have to pay double.
It seems that flying was Andre.
And then that's where he choke slams the taxi driver into his own steering wheel and just gets out of the car without paying. You trying to con a big guy out of money is like the dumbest death sentence you're ever giving yourself. You're telling me you're a taxi driver and you're going to fucking charge Andre the Giant double? Oh, let's see about that. And he just fucking crushes your skull.
Andre's only option, where he'd have to book the entire exit row. However, thankfully, he was able to...
There's a lot of people that have to do that, though. At airplanes, like... just big guys. Even like World Strong, like Brian Shaw and Eddie Hall have to book 2 seats.
To fix this problem.
What about plane travel? Does that get old after a while? Awful?
I go in first class, but I don't think mine was.
Despite this costing an absolute fortune.
I'm traveling so much. Last year I bought for $67,000 just an airplane ticket.
There was still another even bigger flying problem. Andre couldn't fit inside the toilet. He therefore had to relieve himself prior to boarding.
Andre would always time it. So
wait, if he had to go on a long flight, he had to hold his piss the entire time. Oh my God. Like flying LA to Japan? Oh, cooked. Piss bottle? Where's he going to pee? Is he going to go in the back and piss in a fucking Gatorade bottle? Oh my God. Stop.
So that he would take a dump before, he went to the airport.
But in one notable instance, he forgot to go beforehand.
Yeah.
He's up in first class.
I'd probably go up to the flight attendants and be like, I'm too big to fit in the bathroom. Give me a water bottle.
And he tells them, I gotta go. And they're like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
The onboard solution wasn't exactly glamorous.
He would relieve himself into a bucket and then they bring it in and dump it into the toilet.
But in retrospect, the story's pretty funny.
Like pee in a bucket or poop in a bucket?
Toilet.
But in retrospect, the story's pretty funny.
Peeing in a bucket ain't no problem, dude.
Smell that started coming out. There was people falling out of their seats almost into the aisles, puking, crying, screaming.
Sadly, this didn't...
Some pussy ass mother... You're telling me you smell a little shit and you start crying, you vomit, and then faint on a plane? Yeah, there's no way, bro. Yeah, you smell a little pee and you get overwhelmed. You ever take a dump in a porta potty?
And only apply to play.
Somebody started screaming. Ah! Ah! They're just fucking freaking out.
Where does he shit?
In the bathtub.
No.
Yeah, there's no toilet gonna take his ass.
And with monumental bells came monumental farts.
It's so...
Damn, shitting in a bathtub? But the poop wouldn't go down the drain.
Sounded like, like a deep roar kind of like thing. It would rumble.
On the set of Princess Bride, this actually halted production.
He lets out the most monumental fart. The whole plywood set was shaking, and the sound guy lifted his headphones off his ears and was doing that, and it went on for, somebody timed it was 16 seconds.
While Andre's former wrestling opponents thought the wind lasted even longer.
And I could feel my fucking shoulder just vibrate like...
There's no way his farts made people's bodies vibrate. how much air you would need to be able to, like, force that to happen.
Well, a giant can fart.
How long?
About 40 seconds.
Andre was...
No, not 40 fucking seconds. No way. You think? I think it was long. I think that has to be a little bit exaggerated. 40 seconds seems crazy. Like, 15, 20 seconds makes more sense.
So different to everybody else, it got to the point of public ridicule. Hulk Hogan explained when we'd walk through the airports, if he got ahead of me, I'd hear all the unkind things that people would say. Oh my god, look at that guy. It would just break my heart.
They perceived him as a freak of nature, and that hurt Andre more than anything. This guy was very sensitive. Boss, sometimes they laugh at me, they point at me. It hurts my feelings.
I don't know. I think that older people can be mean. I think kids would think he's cool. I think that might have made him feel a little bit better. Like, if I was like 5 and I saw Andre the Giant at an airport, kids are meaner. Kids are just brutally honest and stupid. But I think if I was 5 and I saw Andre the Giant, I'd be like, whoa. Whoa. And I'd start asking him 45 questions. I would just be like, so, like, do you use a regular toothbrush? Do you get, like, one of the big ones the dentist shows you how to brush your teeth with?
But he would cry.
Andre stated in an interview, I would give much money to be able to spend 1 day per week as a man of regular size. I would shop and I would go to the cinema and drive around in a sports car and walk down Fifth Avenue and stare at the other people for a change. Disguising himself in public simply wasn't possible.
Muhammad Ali could put on a trench coat and a ball cap. Andre the Giant couldn't hide in the backseat of a car.
Instead opting to numb himself completely.
He never, ever, ever quit drinking. He drank from the time he got up to the time he went to bed. If he could figure out a way, he'd just done it in his sleep.
While Andre's drinking feats are often highly romanticized, there's no denying he had a serious problem.
He started drinking about 9 o'clock in the morning. He drank like, I'm not exaggerating, like 20 bottles of new Beaujolais.
Doing so to cope with his difficult life.
Wow.
He drank because he was in pain. His spine and his neck and his knees gave him a lot of trouble.
He'd drink 6 bottles of wine before every wrestling match.
6 bottles of wine. Bro, that would kill me. That would kill the average person. You would die of alcohol poisoning. 6 bottles of wine, and then he goes and works.
With Jake the Snake explaining that Andre once drank 48 beers in a single car trip.
He drank 2 cases of beer and did not have to piss. How can you do that?
This was nothing compared to a different night.
Is it true that you, in one sitting, drank 117 beers?
Yes.
Were you drunk?
117 beers in one sitting? How much liquid is that? Say they're 12-ounce beers. 12 times 117 is 1,404. How many ounces in a gallon? 128. In one night, he drank 10 gallons of beer. I can't put my mind to that. I'm understanding it. Like, you could get 10 milk jugs and fill them with beer. But the fact that he was able to down... Like, my body would explode off of the sheer liquid that is.
Drunk at the end of that?
Dude, he probably pisses an entire gallon when he went to the bathroom.
I don't remember. I think I passed out.
With Andre's unofficial record being 156 beers in one sitting, which fellow wrestlers Dusty Rhodes and Michael Hayes confirmed. However, this only added extra weight onto his body.
I myself saw him almost every night drink 7,000 calories worth of alcohol.
Which seemed to be the primary motive for why he eventually quit.
But you don't drink anymore?
Not since 14 months ago I quit.
You feel better for not drinking?
Yeah, because when I was drinking beer, I used to weigh 560 pounds.
And you've trimmed down now to?
Right now, I'm 470.
This led to the...
Wow, so him stopping drinking made him lose 560 to 470. He lost 90 pounds.
Infamous Andre the Giant vs. Hulk Hogan, after which his career...
How big is Hulk Hogan? Because Hulk Hogan is a big-ass guy, too.
This led to the...
In comparison... Because they're almost I don't want to say they're almost the same height. Hulk Hogan's got to be, what, 6'8", 6'5"? He's not 6'5". Hulk Hogan's a big dude, too. Hulk Hogan's 6'7".
infamous Andre the Giant vs Hulk Hogan, after which his career was basically over. When he next came to a match, Andre was using crutches, showing the decline of his physical health. He'd retire to a ranch in North Carolina until he flew back to France for his father's funeral. He'd take this photo after the ceremony without realizing that 3 days later, Andre himself would die of a heart attack.
I'd like to announce the death of one of my favorite wrestlers and one of the most famous wrestlers of all time. He died this week in Paris, France, after going home to his father's funeral.
His body was too large to fit in any French crematorium, and as a result he was shipped back to the USA. His ashes weighed 17 pounds or almost 8 kilos, being just another reason he's remembered as a legend.
Wow. 17 pounds of ashes. And they couldn't fucking cremate his body because he wouldn't fit. I feel like crematoriums have big-ass vats, though. I'm kind of surprised they couldn't fit his body in a crematorium. Maybe it's just based off of the fact that you're never really going to get a guy that's 7'4". Maybe even it's not even the problem that he was 7'4". He just weighed a lot. That was a crazy video, though. All right, lock in. I went undercover in an illegal exotic animal market.
Down here in Jakarta, the capital city of Indonesia, what I'm doing on my short 10-hour layup.
I love this guy, by the way. I'm obsessed with Forrest Galante. I'll watch his podcasts with Joe Rogan, and he'll be like, I found an extinct zebra that lived in the wilderness. It hasn't been seen in 5,000 years. I was hunting through the jungle, and I saw it. And he'll just find, like, extinct animals. He'll just walk out of a bush, and he'll be holding a tortoise that hasn't been seen in 10,000 years.
Layover is going to the pet market. Jakarta is notorious for having one of the worst underground pet markets in the world, where they smuggle tons of critically endangered animals. So I'm gonna go into the market, I'm gonna expose what's going on here.
Over 17,000 islands make up the archipelago known as the nation of Indonesia. And some of the world's most unique and fascinating species have evolved here, including the deadly Komodo dragon and the increasingly
They sell Komodo dragons?
rare orangutan. But sadly, some of those rare animals are poached and smuggled from the wild and brought right here, and they end up being someone's new pet, or even worse, food. And while these
Who the f would want to buy a Komodo dragon? Aren't those things spit like poisonous with a bunch of bacteria too? And if they bite you, even if they don't kill you, you'll just die later.
Pet markets may be legal, they are illegally trafficking protected species. And I can't lie, it's got me on edge. Some of the animals here are unbelievably rare. That's why I'm going in low profile. I'm gonna see how long I can actually spend here and what rare species I can find before we wear out our welcome.
I mean, dude, they have a professional camera, though. Wouldn't it kind of look obvious that they're, like, undercover?
Mangrove cat snake there. That's a really cool animal endemic to Southeast Asia. Really, really beautiful with the yellow stripes and the black head. Animal I'd absolutely love to see in the wild. Little tiny monitor lizards, leopard geckos. These are tokay geckos. Tokay, huh? Yeah. Bites, huh? Yeah.
How much are they charging for these endangered animals? If he said that's a tokay gecko. If that's endangered, how much are they fucking Like, it can't be that much. Like $50, $100.
These are very notoriously mean geckos, the tokay geckos. They're very, very beautiful. Caught in the wild. Bite you, huh? Yeah, it's no good. So I'm trying to be very like smiley and positive.
And if these are endangered as well, are these people selling them, just going out into the wilderness and just hunting endangered species so they can capture and sell them? Wouldn't that be like a very unsuccessful business practice? I feel like it's different with like people that hunt elephants and shit because they're big as hell and they're not capturing them, they're just killing them and taking their shit. That's also terribly fucked up. But I feel like that's an easier thing to try and make money from than finding a gecko on a tree in the middle of the jungle.
That we could get seriously in trouble for being here. So these are African guinea fowl. These are from where I'm from in Zimbabwe. It's crazy to see them here in Indonesia. Look at these guys, flying foxes. This is the largest species of bat in the world. and they're super.
Dude, they just have random animals on the side of the street where there's probably like 500 of them left in existence. And this random guy is going to sell it to me for fucking $60 on a market.
Super cute. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, they're sold as a food animal. They're super intelligent. Look at those incredible faces, very fox-like. See them there?
Oh, they're going to fucking eat him?
Super intelligent, very, very beautiful, but clearly they're animals that are captured from the wild, and they'll end up in a soup pot. So really cool thing to see, but not in this situation. Good cigarette? No, thank you. No, thank you. So these are little trees.
What happened to being undercover, Forrest? What happened to being undercover? That was a test that you failed.
Vernal marsupial. Very, very cool.
I don't want to be confrontational.
Cats. Cigarette?
Second time they ask you for a cigarette, Forrest? Second time they're on to you. They're on to you.
For you? I don't have.
Oh.
Nothing.
You're undercover and you don't have cigarettes on you, Forrest?
I don't have, my friend. So look at all these.
Was that just a cat?
Little owls. These little pygmy owls. Babies. These are all caught from the wild. You have luwak? Luwak? No? I'm getting closed up here. As you can see, I'm trying to be as friendly as I possibly can. I want to try and extend our welcome as much as I can, but every minute spent here increases the risk of vendors getting angry with us, and a lot of them do not want to be filmed. Look at these guys. These are little civets. They're an endemic omnivore. They eat both fruit, vegetables, as well as meats, and they're what they make luwak coffee out of. The coffee, they force feed them coffee beans and they poop it out, and then people love it. And they're just a very, very beautiful animal native to this part of the world, from Indonesia, of course, caught from the wild. Luwak? Yeah. Friendly?
Dude, that's it. It looks so sad, man.
Look at these guys over here.
You can see the terrible condition these animals are being kept in, and unfortunately, things are only getting worse.
Oh, look, here we go. Here's primates. The long-tailed macaque.
Wow.
Hello, guys. Whose monkey is this? For you? Who's got the monkey? Your monkey? Monyet? So this is really interesting. There's a long-tailed macaque here. This is a monkey that's been caught from the wild. It's being sold for the pet trade. I mean, this is something, it's kind of crazy to see. It's really sad. Like, look at the state of him. See his tail's all torn up. He's got mange. He's very, very defensive. He's very stressed out. And you would be too if your mother was shot and you were pulled off of her as a juvenile to be put into a pet market for trade. And that's exactly what's happened here with the macaque. It's a beautiful creature, but it does not belong in a pet market, does not belong in someone's home. It belongs in the wild.
Dude, and I understand that people that are doing this need money and, like, they have their own financial hardships they're going through. But, bro, I would not be able to be fucking just killing animals, taking their mothers, or killing their moms, taking the babies, and then keeping them in a cage for fucking years as they grow up, to try and sell them every day on the fucking side of the street.
This part of the world is this thing. These things happen, and they happen regularly. Look how terrified he is. You have luwak? Can you hold it?
What is civet?
Oh, his teeth are all pulled out. I see. So this is actually kind of sad. See this? There's a civet here, and these guys try to tell me, you know, don't buy the monkey, buy the luwak instead, the civet. You can see he's upset. He's actually trying to bite me, but it doesn't do anything because they pulled all of his teeth out. So they sell these.
No.
They catch these animals in the wild. They sell them as pets, and you can see he bites, but it doesn't do anything because all of his teeth have been ripped out for the pet trade. This is a beautiful animal. Should be healthy and happy in the wild, but instead it's sitting here in a cage, upset, biting with no teeth. How much for the monyet? How much? 500,000? What is that in dollars? 500,000. No.
$25 fucking dollars, and they're pulling teeth out of animals for fucking $25, bro. Oh my god. I know that would go further here, but that's crazy, selling a fucking endangered animal for $20.
Oh, it's more than that. Here, I got it right here. $34. 35, yeah, $35.
Wow.
So he's just told me that the macaque here, like I say, an animal taken from the wild.
And now you can't even put it back into the wild because it has no chance of defending itself. Like, I'm looking at it from his perspective of, like, if it did have teeth, there's a chance he could be like, hey, I'm going to fucking buy some of these animals and try and release them back. But what is that going to fucking do? They're just going to get killed by something in a day.
They shoot their mothers and pull the babies off their chest.
Somebody's got to save them. Well, dude, here's the problem is you buying it from them isn't doing anything because then they're just going to go get another one, you know? And so you're kind of stuck in this bind where if you buy one, yes, you save that individual animal, but you're funding them to be more financially motivated to do it more.
Aggressive, and it's terrified. It's super unhealthy with all the scars on it. And yet for $35, someone here will take it. They'll put it in their home as an ornament.
Oh, wait, the fucking monkey's $35?
And that's one less incredible primate in the wild. So it's still really interesting to see all of these wild animals that are here, but I think we should move on before we get into too much trouble. What's his name? What's your name, my friend? What is it? Karyadi? Forrest. Nice to meet you. So I've just met this man here, Karyadi, and he's told me that they have another monkey. If I don't want to buy that one, he's going to show me another monkey, which is back behind somewhere. So we're going to go with him, Mitch, so maybe just stay with me.
All right, if it's a fucking orangutan, I'm going to freak out.
Let's see what he has over here. Go ahead, Karyadi, go ahead. Thank you. Monyet, huh? Monyet. Yeah, come with us. Just stay on your toes here, Mitch. You can see how much more discreet this section is. There's a ton of rare animals here. Oh, the owls, yeah. And more squirrels, sugar.
Wow, and they're not even, oh, they're feeder. I was going to say, they're not even cages.
Spiders, beautiful animals. Tree squirrels, watch out, Mitch. Okay. The monyet? No?
It's about to be some rare-ass monkey. With how sketchy this guy's being on, like, they have to go into a back alleyway to fucking find this thing.
Are they shutting us down now? Can he show me where it is just to look? Okay, careful, this is getting a little sketch now.
Yeah, dude, I'd be a little fucking nervous that they'd put a bag over my head and fucking put chloroform on my mouth here. You're fucking dealing with some exotic pet trade shit, dude. You're going into an alleyway.
Beautiful wild songbirds. Look at that big civet. That's a three-striped civet. It's a different animal. Monyeta? Over here? Can I see?
Oh, is he not going to be able to see it with the camera? Like, they're not going to let the guy go back there?
Closed? Closed. And the guy's not here? He's gone? What does he say?
He said the monkey is, his name is Baruch. Do you know Baruch?
Baruch? No. Small tail? Like a baboon? Baboon? Baruch baboon? Oh, it's a pigtail macaque. They've got one here?
Yeah. Small one.
Any way to see?
I need to look that up. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Wow. And they just find these in the fucking jungle? Show? They said they have a small one, so it'd probably be like a baby.
See it or no? Impossible? Okay. All right, that's okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm not sure if they just got cold feet or they saw us with the cameras or if they're actually gone, but he says that there is a small monkey here, but he says it has a small tail. So to me, that means there's a pigtailed macaque at this market, another type of macaque, very rare monkey indeed, but it's certainly an open end in exposing some of the horrors of the animal cruelty here in this part of the world. Iguana?
I remember I saw another video. I don't know if he did it or somebody else, but they have, dude, in a lot of like third world countries, they have like exotic pet trades, but also for fish. And those will be expensive. They'll just have random rooms full of like 80 fish tanks. This becomes a video editor, throw up an image where they just have fucking fish packed into just tanks. random fish you've never seen, ones that are like neon and fucking the coolest looking fish you've ever fucking seen, but they're rare and fucking endangered and they're legal to sell, but they sell them anyway. And those, like, I'm surprised how cheap this is. I was expecting them to be so much more expensive because the video I watched about the fish, some of those will go for like $5,000-$6,000. And they're just in a corner of a fucking dark room. Like, not even the best shit they have.
These guys actually may be the biggest problem of all. And funnily enough, these guys are from where from? This is a North American red-eared slider. It's one of the most invasive species on Earth. They've been brought around the world for the pet trade because of their hardiness and their easy ability to reproduce. And because of that, they've been released in native areas and spread like wildfire. They're out-competing a lot of the native animals, super invasive. They are adorable animals, but they're not animals that should be in Asia at all. And unfortunately, that's led to huge ecological problems. And
what's the fucking fish in Florida that has that massive problem where they'll pay you to kill them? And they have spines on their back. We watched a Coyote Peterson video where they would step on it. Not a snakehead, no. Lionfish. Yeah, they'll like pay you in Florida to murder lionfish because there's so many of them. And they destroy like reefs because they just dominate that world. It's the same thing, isn't it the same thing with like rabbits in Australia, where rabbits aren't like native and nothing really kills them that often? Yeah, the European wild rabbit was an introduced pest throughout the southern 2/3 of Australia. But how many rabbits are there today? They have a major problem threaten their environment and agriculture. But how many European rabbits are in Australia? 200 million. And they're not even native there.
Guys right here. Lots of South American fish species, tilapia from Africa, gouramis from Asia. You know, the exotic fish trade,
he is reviewing fish.
Certainly not as harmful to the environment as
oh, yeah, for sure, but it's still
a lot of the pet trade is, but there are some incredible fish here. Asian box turtles here. These are a semi-aquatic species of turtle. They shouldn't be in water this deep. They can very, very easily drown. Most of them are pretty beat up and have scars on them. They're a sign of good fortune and good luck, and the reason being, they have this amazing yellow stripes on their head, and apparently that yellow stripe in Asia signifies lots of money, good wealth. And so they're very common as a household pet to bring wealth into the home. They're a very beautiful animal. They shouldn't be in water.
Do you think the majority of the people that are buying from this market are native to this area or like foreign tourists like him? I would guess mainly people that live there, just because how are you going to get, like, say he did buy this turtle, how the fuck is he getting that back to his house?
For them, but very unique creatures. It looks like this section here is kind of the wild bird section. You can see all of these songbirds. Some of them are native, like the ones over here. Some of them, like the lovebirds, come from Africa. There's rats running around, street rats eating all the bird seed, but all of these are beautiful native songbirds caught from the wild, sold as a symbol of good fortune. There's actually a thing in Indonesian culture that says you're not a man if you don't have a songbird in your home. So basically everybody here in one of the most populated countries in the world, the 4th most populated country, has a beautiful songbird caught from the wild in their home. These are all flying.
Why caught from the wild, though? Do they not have areas where they breed them?
Squirrels. So these are all native out of the wild. See their little skin flaps between their front and hind legs. They all have mangy diseases and things from being kept like this. In fact, I think, no, he's not dead. That one's still alive. Beautiful animals, very beautiful eyes, but the flying squirrel, can I see it? Open it. Okay. See if these guys have had their teeth removed or not. Come here, little guy.
I'd be a little fucking nervous. This thing would bite me, dude.
Come on. Come here, come on. Going out of the pile here. Ooh,
fuck.
Easy. Come here. They don't want to go out. Sorry?
Oh my god, they're so scared.
There you go. Listen to him, little flying squirrel. All right, buddy. He doesn't like being handled. I'm going to put him back. Look, an amazing animal. See the flaps of Skin between his front and hind legs.
He's trying to
All right,
fucking
all right, all right.
escape,
He
dude.
doesn't like
Holy
being out.
shit.
Go back to your friends. Poor little thing. Just goes to show you, they don't make nice pets. They're not nice to handle. They're bitey. They're mean. They're beautiful looking, but they're not something that should be in the pet trade.
Yeah, then why would anybody buy them, though? They're just going to keep in a cage every day. They're not going to be able to interact with them because they're just going to attack you every time you try to hold them.
Little owl here on the outside of the cage. Okay, take it. It's a little baby owl. Of course, taken from the wild. He should be sleeping right now in a nest, getting ready for the night, and instead he's sitting here on the side of a very busy road, exhausted, clearly eyes wide open in the daylight, waiting to be purchased to spend his life in a cage in someone's porch as opposed to in the wild.
Yeah, dude. And then it's like, what the fuck? Like, it's just like your thing to look at. What's the fucking point in owning that? I love owls, but I wouldn't want an owl just sitting in a cage all day. What, so you could fucking go? Yeah, it's like owning a painting to them. Like, you go home and you just fucking, whoever's owning one of these owls, you just fucking look at it and you go, oh, that's my fucking owl. And you go to bed. It just doesn't do anything for its whole life.
Wild where he should be. Beautiful animal. Yeah, this is a leaf turtle. It's another very, very rare species. Gets the name.
Just saying that in front of the dude illegally selling it. Well, that guy probably doesn't speak English.
Floor. Beautiful animal, also taken from the wild, also critically endangered, likely to go extinct. Sitting here in this tub for sale. It's crazy. You know, the thing is, if I could, I'd purchase every single one of these animals and let them go.
But see, that's not, and then they're just gonna go and be like, oh, business was great, we're gonna go get more.
In the wild, but all that does is increase the trade. You're promoting it by purchasing it. The best thing you can do is expose it like I'm doing now, and I'm amazed we haven't been thrown out.
The best thing that could happen is no one as fucked up as it seems, no one buys any of these animals. They die in their cages. The people that run these businesses make no money, and then they stop doing it. And they go and they get a fucking job doing something else.
And ignore it, because if you go here and purchase it, you're contributing to the problem. As a biologist, I know the right thing to do is leave it. As an animal lover, I want to.
They would just capture more. Not if anybody's buying. If nobody's buying them, there's no incentive for them to capture them because they're not going to be able to sell them.
Literally, personally save every single animal here by buying it and setting it free. But you just
like, none of them are doing it as a hobby. It's like they need money.
Can't do that. It's the wrong thing to do, and it is difficult. Whoa! Look at these guys. These are little freshwater puffer fish. They're literally the kind of fish that you pick up and they inflate, they puff up. And to see them in the pet trade, I mean, that's really unique. Yeah, here they are in the bag. Look at that. Puffer fish. Riverine puffer fish from the wild. Yeah.
That makes more sense to me as something somebody would want to buy, because that's just like, oh, you own a fish tank and you just get a big fish tank and put them in there.
Those are mollies. Those are very common in the fish trade in the U.S. But to see puffer fish caught from the wild rivers of Indonesia here in the market, that's very, very bizarre.
And they have so many of them.
Diversity here is absolutely crazy. It's not far-fetched at all to think that extinct animals would turn up here. I mean, my grandfather found a coelacanth at a food market, a fish food market. This is a pet market where the rarer something.
He found an extinct fish at a fucking fish market.
Thing is, the more exotic it is, the more unusual it is, the higher price it'll fetch. And that's the sad reality of when things become rare, they become more sought after and they become more valuable. So all you can do is check.
I was starting to think these vendors had finally accepted us, but just as that thought crossed my mind, things...
That's the camera they're walking around with? Oh, hell no. Undercover my ass, bro. I thought you'd have like a fucking glasses camera, bro. You got a fucking movie camera behind you. Undercover? What, they were gonna be like, bro, what are you filming, a documentary? What the hell is that? That's like a $40,000 camera.
Crossed my mind, things started to shift, and they were getting a little annoyed. And it was clear we'd outstayed our welcome.
So there seems to be a bit of a problem now. Okay? No?
No.
No?
No.
He doesn't want... No?
No.
No? He's kind of pushing us out. All right. No. Back up a little, Mitch.
Bro, they have like 4 cameramen. They see your face.
Can we?
I'd leave. I would leave.
Take pictures? No. Picture? No? 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 They don't like it. All right. Okay. Well, no what? No camera? Can we to see them on yet? No? You don't want us to take picture? What about of the snakes and things? No? What problem? What? All right, so we're getting kind of shoot out everywhere now. Okay, we're being shoot out.
I'd start getting mad as shit. Oh, no, 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 no. That kid looks the same age as me. Well, what's the fucking problem? You don't like that I'm filming your stupid puffer fish that are $20 that you're fucking stealing from the rivers?
Now, everybody's kind of caught on to the fact
they already fucking filmed everything.
That we're here and that we're filming, even though we only have a skeleton crew with one camera. We're being, okay.
They've caught on to the fact that we're filming. Forrest. They've caught on to the fact that we're filming. You got a homie wearing a back brace to hold up that 80-pound camera he's holding right by your face. What the fuck you mean they did? They caught onto the fucking cameras.
Okay, we're being chased out now. Nobody wants to show us anything. So we got in, we managed to see a lot, but we saw a lot of other very interesting things. And most importantly, we exposed the reality.
Should have taken that cigarette.
Here of these pet markets.
I'm telling you, if he gave that guy a cigarette, he would have been good.
And how things are poached out of the wild to go into people's homes.
That was an interesting video. It's very sad, but you know that shit happens everywhere. Fish markets, exotic animal markets, they're always just going to be funded by one means or another. How's everybody doing on this fantastic fucking Friday, everybody? Chat. I have a whole presentation that I made for if I was the Hunger Games game maker. We're starting out stream with a fucking presentation. We haven't done one of these since the Disney Sniffer, okay? If you don't remember that, I made a conspiracy theory that I think was pretty foundational and potentially believable. That the Mickey Mouse figure in Disney's lore actually exists, and he lives in a cage underground beneath the Orlando Disney World facility, in which he sniffs the employee underwear to make sure that they are wearing it. Now, we're not going to be getting more into that theory today. We're going to be doing something entirely different. We're going to be doing a presentation on what my Hunger Games would look like if I were a game maker, okay? If I were a game maker, what would the Joe Bart Hunger Games look like? I have 2 fleshed out ideas, 4 honorable mentions, and a questions period in which chat can ask questions. Prior to, fucking listen to my goddamn mentality, okay? I thought of these ideas. Some of them may have been thought of before. I'm not going to sit here and claim that I'm some original-ass guy, but I did not use outside resources for this. I used it straight off the fucking dome and potentially talked to my friend at 3 in the morning on a Discord call. But outside of that, all these thoughts are my own. It is time for my... Fuck, my face cam's going to be in front of all the pictures. Where do I put my chat? I planned this whole presentation out. Where do I put my fucking face cam? Bottom? I don't know. Bottom left? Bottom right? We're going to put chat in the top. No, we're going to put chat up here. If I were the game maker, this would be my Hunger Games. I also want to say that I own these ideas, and if they're ever used, I shall receive $1 trillion from Lionsgate or any company that uses them for a Hunger Games-based movie, theatrical, play, whatever it may be. If there's any monetary gain off of this, it is all directed towards me because I came up with these ideas. Thank you. Okay, anyways, starting it out. If you also, I didn't really, if you've never seen the Hunger Games, this is going to make no sense to you. But for the people that don't know, the Hunger Games is basically a move. Do I really need to explain what the fucking Hunger Games are? Nobody that hasn't seen the Hunger Games is going to fucking watch this. No, I don't need to explain. You know what the Hunger Games are. If you don't know what the Hunger Games are, figure it the fuck out. You've been living under a rock for the last 10 years. Type locked in. Also, I'm covering my face. That's me. I don't know why I included that, but I wanted to. Anyways, these are my games. If you haven't seen Hunger Games, you don't know what it is, fuck off. You're not going to understand anything that I'm talking about. Idea number 1. Lifelink. Now, this one I have been chefing up in the works, right? While I'm lifting at the gym, I'm thinking about this. Now, basically, the premise of Lifelink is that 2 winners will always exist, okay? If you've seen the first Hunger Games, spoiler alert, that shit came out 10 years ago, so if you haven't seen it, fuck off. Katniss and Peeta win together. They're not supposed to, right? They both threaten to eat, like, these berries that are poisonous, and then the game maker basically just allows them to win because there would either be... It's better that there's 2 winners than no winner. I like the idea of Lifelink, primarily, number 1, because there's always 2 winners, and that motivates people. But number 2, it makes the games more interesting. Now, what Lifelink is, if you're reading the PowerPoint, is that both players are linked, hence the name Lifelink. So if one dies, the other dies, right? So if you, and the person you're linked to is the other person in your district, right? There's 12 districts, 13 if you look into the lore, but 12 that participate. And every district has 2 players. So if you're in District 2 and you are, I guess, chosen, the person that you are playing with will also have a device that is basically implanted and attached to their heart or aortic valve, whatever it may be. And if they die and it recognizes that they don't have a heartbeat anymore, then you instantly die, right? So it kind of forces you to have a teammate, but also gives you a teammate, right? It's a positive and a negative depending on how you're seeing it. There are a lot of downsides and a lot of upsides. We're going to get into that. This is just the first slide, right? I know some of you might be thinking, oh, what if I got Rue? What if I got Rue? Oh, shit, I would lose. Yeah, you're right? If you get partnered with a 10-year-old, you're probably going to get fucking murdered because that kid's going to get his head chopped off in the first 10 seconds, right? So maybe you need to rethink your strategy going into the games because if you are teammates with somebody that sucks, you're going to have to play around that. Slide 2. The holidays are meant for giving. It's a time of year where people spend more money than they do the rest of the year, and giving is great, but so is getting something back too. And that's what the Upside app is for, the sponsor of today's video. With the Upside app, you can get cash back on everyday purchases to places that you go very often to. There are over 100,000 different gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants that are on the Upside app, and cashback is always around the corner. People can earn 3 times more cashback with Upside than any other product, and the app is free. The Upside app has helped users earn over $1 billion in cashback all time and helps users earn over $1 million each week. I travel a lot for content. I use Upside mainly at gas stations because I'm on the go all the time, but I also use it for restaurants when I'm out and about because I'm not going to be meal prepping and planning out grocery shopping as I normally would when I'm home. Upside helps me earn that cash back at any qualifying business that I go to. Upside has given back over $1 billion to its users. To find out what you could earn, download the free Upside app and use promo code JOEB to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon of your first tank of gas. That is an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code JOEB. Thank you to Upside for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into it. I liked this image. I tried to find something where there were people that were combative with each other, and I couldn't really think anything outside of 21 Jump Street with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, so that's what we went with. Why this would be very cool, right? Higher motivation and morale, right? Similarly to the first games, right? It feels a lot better when you're not the only one making it out of it. You have a little more motivation to survive, not only for yourself, but for somebody else, right? And it breeds new attack and defense strategies, okay? And it also, this is another point that I wanted to make. If you look at the third bullet point, it reduces the loser-ass fucks that play for the games for their entire life, right? Kato, or what was his name in the first one? Kano. What was his name? The blonde guy in the first one. Kato. Yeah, Kato was a loser, right? Kato was, you know, if you don't really know the lore of Hunger Games, the people in the higher districts are really rich. They're not so rich that they live in the capital, but they're well off. And a lot of them train their entire lives to be in the Hunger Games, and then they just volunteer, right? Instead of even being picked like people in District 12 are. Like, they want to, they're career Hunger Games people. They want to be in the Hunger Games and win for glory, for money, whatever the reason may be. And it removes that because all of these people that are in District 1, District 2, District 3 are training for themselves, okay? They're training on how can I survive. Yes, they're still going to carry over the capabilities they have as an individual to kill, right? Just like an MMA fighter would still be really good in hand-to-hand combat. But they're going to get the ball dropped on them 3 days before, right? They're not going to know that this is lifelink until, like, right when the event starts. Now, yes, the higher district people are probably still going to be at an advantage like they already would be. You can't really get rid of that because both players in each district are going to be probably pretty well trained. But it evens the playing field a little bit, right? Not to the point where, it's full even, but it helps somewhat. If my lifelink partner dies, how would I die? Would I just get murdered? No, they would implant a device into your heart or next, kind of like a pacemaker, but like one that would kill you instead of keep you alive. So it would have a device that reads your heartbeat and your heart rate, and if it stops reading your heart rate, it gives you a heart attack. So you would just die on the spot. And I also want to say you can't do some baddie or whatever fucking bullshit. You can't be a coder and hack it, okay? It's going to be bulletproof, right? This is a device that can't be changed. It is linked to your heart. There's no way around it. If you're really good at wiring, you can't fucking pull it out of your chest and fucking save yourself, all right? That's loser shit. I'm going to say that right now. I don't know how we would do that, but we'd figure it out. Moving on. New attack strategies. I think I found some good images here from For Honor and Assassin's Creed, I think is the bottom one. You basically need to reformat how you fight, right? You could have people that are, tanks, like your strongest person that would, maybe ideally have a shield and a sword, a shield and a spear, and then have somebody prior or behind them that's kind of a long-range individual. Kind of like a hero shooter where you have a healer and a tank. It changes how you fight too, because now you're no longer going for the strongest member, right? In the Hunger Games, you want to get out the strong people because the weak people are easy to kill, right? You don't really have to worry about them, so you kind of mainly focus on the strong guy. Your eyes kind of dart from the good people that are, scary to the weakling in the back. Because if I'm fighting a guy that's 220 and his teammate's a 10-year-old that's 100 pounds, wham! I'm throwing the spear like I'm in 300 and I'm a part of the Spartans, right? And I'm clipping him because then the other guy instantly dies. So now the big guy has to think, how do I prevent this fuck from dying? Because if they die, I die, right? If you have two strong people, maybe you could strategize with your teammate. You could have two people both be close range, both have shields. You could have two long-range stealth people. Both of you could opt for, kind of camping in the trees and trying to just pick people off, getting 2-for-1 specials, Head tap, bink, over, they're dead. Now you got a 2-for-1, and the game's become easier, I also want to say, if you split, you'll likely die. In this scenario, I'm not saying that there's going to be people that disagree with each other, right? Especially in the higher districts or the lower ones where people don't see eye to eye. You're going to have District 3s that refuse to fight together and they split on their own way. You better just hope that motherfucker doesn't die because randomly you might have a heart attack and, you're done. You're dead. And I also put weak teammates are either forced into hiding or useful in other ways. What I mean by that is like, you could have a scenario where, if you remember in the first games, PETA was kind of forced to like live in a cave for like a few days because his bitch ass got hurt and he couldn't do anything. So like you would have to do that for some players. Like if you got partnered with Rue, you're probably going to put Rue in a cave and just be like, don't leave. Here's a spear. If somebody comes in, kill them. I'll bring you food once every 3 days because they're a liability at that point. Now you're like solo fighting a duo, You know, so there is RNG on like who you get, but it's also like, hey, maybe you could strategize in different ways where that person forages and does a lot of survival things where you kind of focus on defense and attack, whatever, you know, you kind of see fit. I think that's why I like it, because there's variety. Weapon format for Lifelink would be semi-standard to a regular cornucopia. This is the one in the first game. This is the one in the second game here in Catching Fire. Also, Catching Fire, best Hunger Games by far. It's not even close. You would have an even split of like range, melee, and shield. I feel like in the first one, they had a lot of melee and very few range weapons, right? You had some throwing knives. You had Katniss's bow and arrow. You maybe had a spear, as you could see. But a lot of the weapons were like fucking, it was like a lot of backpacks, a lot of axes, machetes, swords. We're kind of going to have a full even split of that, so you can kind of grab what you think you need. And then I also put fighting gladiator style is kind of ideal for the tank. You know, you kind of want something that you're able to block ranged weapons and close range weapons with, but also have something that kind of gives you reach. And then range is more stealth. You don't really need one of each, but I would personally say it would make more sense to have both. That's what it would be, right? You would kind of have an even split, similar cornucopia. I don't think I wouldn't keep it looking like this. Honestly, I think I like the more open format. Kind of remove the cornucopia look. You could call it the cornucopia, just kind of have it be mid. You know, kind of like an MC Hunger Games where there's just kind of chests surrounding. I kind of want an equal grabability for everybody. The map I just kind of picked a bunch of imagery that I would ideally have the playing field to look like. Think of like northern New York / less hilly Vermont. Semi-cold, warm maybe in the 50s, 60s during the day. At night, it might be down to the 30s. You know, you kind of need a fire. There's a lot of forestry, a lot of trees that you could hide behind and fight behind, but also a lot of like open plains. An abundance of water. I'm not really having this game to be something where it's like people are just constantly starving and dehydrated to death. You want good fights, you know? The people in the capital fiend for a good death. And a good death is not dying of dysentery. A good death in the Hunger Games is getting your head chopped off by a trident with somebody throwing a net at them from behind, you know? So I think that would be the map. There would also be some structures. Like, this isn't just here for shits and giggles. Like, there would be a barn, you know? There's areas. I feel like in the Hunger Games, it's all just nature. We're removing that. You know, I kind of want it to be kind of like a PUBG aspect, you know, not really modern housing, but a lot of rundown shit. Stuff that's been abandoned for 30 years. There would be bridges, kind of places that you could post up for shelter if you needed to. Maybe you would find some gear as well. You could scatter some shit, maybe some band-aids in a drawer or something. I don't know. Potential addition. This one's kind of up in the air. I was, you know, kind of talking to the council about this one. I don't really know if we would include this for Lifelink games. But think of like national treasure traps. You would have, or like an It Takes Two type puzzle. You would have scenarios where you have to either solve a maze or step on right pressure plates in the right time, and you have to work together. And if you fail, you'll die. You know, there would be like poison arrows that shoot out of the wall. Some shit out of like, an ancient Egyptian, like, tomb that's being guarded by a trap or something. Something on the lines of that you would kind of stumble upon. There would only be 3 or 4 in the whole map. But the reward would be great. You know, failure equals death, success equals great reward. It's a real risk reward. Yeah, Indiana Jones, stuff like that. It's a real risk reward factor. If you win, there's no, like, it's not something that's predetermined, okay? That's what I like about this too, is if you succeed, you don't know what you're going to get. The game makers know what you're going to get. So they're going to give you what you need most. Instead of a sponsor dropping you something and then that helping you out in the games, it's going to be more like, hey, you're fucking bleeding out. We're going to try and do this. And if we win, we'll get like a healing serum like PETA had. You might need weaponry or food or certain items, and it helps you out in that way, you know? All right. Idea 2. Wait, actually, let's go back. Do we have any questions? Any questions? Thoughts, concerns, questions? Are we liking that idea? Does it sound good? I think it's fucking sick. What about mutts? We're not gonna have mutts in that Hunger Games. I would caution you to wait for this next second idea. I would caution you to wait for this next second idea. You'll like the second one. You'll like the second one. Anyways, that one, I don't know. That one I feel like is pretty basic, but you could have a lot more dialogue. There would be a lot more sappy scenes, you know, trying to keep each other alive. You might hide your injuries from your teammate because you don't want them to think that you're going to die. Stuff like that. You know, you're kind of forced to work together. There's a lot of more camaraderie that goes into it. You know, if a good teammate's a good team. Will there be any crazy background trauma that makes just one player really shitty and then kills them off right away? I think, okay, I don't know if I'm saying this is kind of what I'm putting forth as a games maker for Hunger Games. I'm not going into like the cinematics of we're going to draft one guy that's really unlikable so one person fucking, you know, takes themselves out to kill the other guy. Would there be a scenario like that? I don't know. Maybe, probably. Out of 24 contestants, there's probably going to be one team where they're like, fuck you, and then they just fucking kill him and then die as well. You know, I can't say whether that would or wouldn't happen. They should be able to pick their clothing before they see the arena. Ooh, you're saying they should have to pick their clothing? Like they don't know what they're going into? I feel like they would just all be geared. That's a little cheap. They would all be given the same stuff. You want the playing field somewhat even. And then there would be people trying to cheat and fold their way through to figure it out before it actually happens. No. Ooh, do you think though, actually, this is the question. If the lifelink games were real, do you think you should tell them days before or like when they're in the tube getting lifted towards the ceiling? Like, hey, by the way, you have a device that's in your chest that if your teammate dies, you'll die. In the tube. I like that. Because I think that's like, well, fuck, whoa, what? You know, you're like, in the tube, you're told that you get out, you know, you're up, and you're like looking at your teammate like, you know, now you're thinking, do you go to the cornucopia? Now you're playing, you're like, you have everything mapped out in your head. And then in an instant, it's like 1,000-yard stare. Fuck. What do we do? All right, now, before we go to the next one, what are your odds of survival in this? I feel like base Hunger Games, like first Hunger Games, I'm giving myself like betting odds, or like not even betting odds. Like I think I have a 15% chance of winning in a regular Hunger Games scenario, which is higher than statistically it would be like 5%. So I think I have 3 times higher than the average person to win. I think in this one, I think I would do better. I think I could strategize like fucking crazy, chat. I would kill their backline so fast. I would dead ass ignore. Maybe not. I would say I'm going to frontline. I'm going to fight the big fuck. I would tell my teammate, yo, run around and strangle his teammate. Run around, because it's always guy, girl, right? So if I'm the dude, I'm going to go, yo, I'm going to try, or actually maybe reverse. I'd be like, you distract the guy. I'm just going to fucking spear that person to death. And then we're going to fucking live. If you're in lifelink, your teammate was a 12-year-old disabled person, what would you do? I mean, bro, they're not going to draft somebody that's physically incapable of fighting. You can't put me in that scenario. I'm not doing that. They would? They wouldn't. They wouldn't. Oh, they did. Oh, they did, though. Oh, my God, they did, though. No, they did do that, though. Oh, shit. You're cooked in that scenario. See, that's fucked, though. That's fucked, though. What if they're autistic? I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking, like, physically disabled to where, like, my teammate has one arm and one leg. And now, like, they're not going to do that. I feel like there would be rules. Okay, then I don't know. Why are you trying to pick apart? Why are you ruining my idea? Fuck. Why are you ruining my idea? They would just die, but then you're dead too. That's the point they're making, which is true. Like, if you're with somebody that's, like, fucked, like, they're not, like, it's just like, oh, you're cooked, you know? Like, now, like, it's over. Honestly, bro, I feel like that's a scenario where you literally have to go, like, put them in a cave and be like, don't leave. I'm going to win this games for us. Like, I'll bring you food so you don't die. Just say you wouldn't draft them if this is your games. Yeah, but the game maker doesn't choose who does and doesn't get drafted. All right, I would give somebody, like, in that scenario, I'm giving the other player, like, some crazy perk or some shit. Like Katniss and PETA. I gotta say, side rant, PETA's presentation to the rich people that are determining whether or not he's gonna get, like, fucking sponsors for the games was so stupid, and they made it seem cool, and it was so lame. Like, if you remember, they all had to, like, portray their own abilities and what makes them, like, good, I guess, opponents. And, like, Katniss is, like, headshotting stuff, or, like, well, actually, she might have, like, painted something. But, like, a lot of people are throwing knives, and they're, like, slashing. They're showing their fighting skills. Bro, PETA just goes, thun, 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 throws a weight. And all of them go, wow. Wow. And they act impressed. Like 5 Hunger Games ago, there wasn't a girl that graded her teeth to look like shark teeth with the fighting capabilities of fucking somebody that spent 10 years in fucking Dagestan learning MMA maneuvers. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, Enobaria or whatever. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, you know, PETA throwing a fucking 40-pound potato sack was impressive. Next games. I think you guys will like this one more. This one's titled the Fallout Games because of how similar... I was going to title this one the Nocturnal Games, but I'm titling it the Fallout Games because I think the map would be the most memorable. The climate would be similar to Fallout 4 or the show, The Fallout. We would remove radiation. I think I say that in another slide, but you're not worrying about, I'm going to say that off rep, you're not worrying about, like, dying of radiation and stepping into a room that's going to fucking kill you, okay? The problem and the worry about this game is that it is unbearably bright and hot during the day. It is cold and pitch black at night and bright and hot in the day. The UV level during the day is 10 plus, and it's over 100 degrees from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. You're in the desert, okay? You're spawning in the Sahara. Not really, because there's going to be water sources, but it's going to feel like you're in the desert constantly. Everything's going to be run down and look like it was in a post-nuclear blast. There would be less buildings than this. You know, I don't want there to be, like, huge cities. Honestly, I think there would be buildings scattered kind of like in this bit, but it would be more like deserted. Map-focused games through and through. There's caverns and broken structures that you're able to sleep in that would kind of look like this. A lot of the games would be played during the night. You know, there's going to be benefits of going out during the day, but for the first few days, it's like if you stay outside during the day, you're dead. Water's readily available, yet largely unusable, like this picture here. You know, think still water, water that has so much bacteria in it that unless it's, like, fully boiled and filtered and you know a lot about survival filtration, like, you're fucked. You know, there's going to be instances where you do find, like, water bottles and there's going to be clean water sources, very far and few between. Most of the water that you'll see is unusable and or deadly. Post-nuclear fallout years after is what I'm saying. That's why there wouldn't be radiation, because that's kind of cringe if, like, all the people died from, like, radiation poisoning. But yeah, I also included this image here where my fucking face cam is of Fallout, but it wouldn't be a city like that. I'm just more saying, like, the ruins. You know, it wouldn't be like you're in modern-day New York. It's not going to be that vast where you're able to, like, climb 80-story buildings. Like, the tallest building would be, like, 3 stories. The twist, this is where we get into this chatter's request here about the mutts. Nocturnal radiation mutated carnivores. So, think bears, think like snakes, dogs, they're going to be like fucking steroid, like zombie creatures that kind of roam the grounds. But they're not computers. They're not robots, right? These are real animals that are also seeking survival, shelter, and food. So that's where the conflict is that these animals also can't go out during the day or don't want to. So the shelter that they're seeking is also the shelter that you're seeking. So if you go into a cavern and you're like, thank fuck, it was so hot, I can relax here, you might have a mutated bear waiting to kill you, right? Or at night, when you want to venture out, is when they want to venture out, and then they're going to be looking for you. That's when animals seek you out as well. I also have this creature here. This isn't really an animal, but something like really creepy, you know? Like it would be like you're in a horror game at night. Horror game at night and just like horrible during the day. The strategy is obviously go out at night because that's when you're going to be able to, I guess, adventure the most, because during the day you're going to get severe sunburn. You know, you might die of heat exhaustion or dehydration. You don't really want to be active when you're going to be losing a lot of your energy. So you want to go out at night. The problem is it's pitch fucking black. There are no stars. There is no moon. It is dark. It is, it's the dome, remember? The dome that they're in. So there is a border. We're not going to have fake stars, fake moon. It's nothing. So it is pitch black. Cave level, darkness outside. So you're going to have to find ways around, maneuvering through where you are. And so the best thing that you're going to think of off rip is probably fire. And fire's awesome, but I wanted to just use this as an example. When you're going to stick out like a sore fucking thumb. So fire's going to help you move around. It also might help you fend off animals, but it's also going to be a fucking beacon to other players of where you exactly are. I also wanted to say it's advantageous to risk going out in the day because you might be able to like loot the runes before other people. You know, stuff's going to get taken quick. There's probably going to be pretty good items that are placed in the runes, in the buildings, in these areas that are, lootable, and they'll go quick. So you kind of want to go out during the day, maybe risk it to, kind of reduce player-to-player contact, but also increase what you get. You might find heat-repelling clothing for night and day. You might find sleeping bags for night, other energy-absorbing things for cold at night. Like, you might get certain gear that is usable for daytime adventures, kind of like what people wear in the Sahara or just in deserts in general, because they're not going to spawn with that stuff. Incentives. This is where it gets really weird. You get supplies for kills. So it promotes you not being a bum-ass camper. If you remember in the second movie, Catching Fire, there were 2 winners that won previous games from camouflaging themselves and doing nothing for days until their opponent starved. That's stupid as fuck. So we're going to make you OP if you kill people. But what makes it the twist is that you can't just kill them, because we're not going to drop you stuff out of the sky. You need to go back to the center with the person's head. So if you want good gear, you need to kill them, cut off their head, and bring it back to spawn and put it in a cache. It only opens after day 3. Because that would be lame if it was open on day 1, because everybody would just camp in mid and kill each other. The games would be over instantly. So you kill people in the first 3 days. You're kind of weighing, hey, should I carry this person's head around? Should I cache their body somewhere? So you're going to have, it's disgusting, which makes it more entertaining. It changes game strategy. And you're going to have people that camp the cornucopia more than before, and you'll have scavengers. Right, so you'll have people that aren't really killing that many people, but they're kind of looking for bodies like that were killed on day 1, 2, or 3 prior to the cache opening. If you get the head in Spawn, like you would put it on like a plate and it would sink down and then it would bring something up for you. And you get to choose, right? So there's going to be a category. It would be like food, weapons, supplies, like gear, right? And you'll pick one. So you get 1 credit per head and you get to choose what you want. So then the game's not going to choose for you. You get a pick. I feel like this is really complicated. How? I feel like this makes perfect sense. Hey, if you cash a head in at mid, you get to pick an item only after day 3. That's so simple. Right, and here's like some of the items. Like you might get like, you know, just blocky like MRE, nutrition bars, low quality night gear. You know, that would be like really good weaponry. You know, you might get like a heat blanket or heat repellent clothing, stuff like that. And you just get to pick category. You don't get to pick exact item. It's going to drop what is in that category that would best suit you. I love this idea. I think this is like the best out of everything in this presentation. I feel like this could get translated to every game because it's just like such a cool, it would be good for the movies and also just like, fuck, dude, that's disgusting. Because like you would kill somebody and then you could like drag their body and drop them in the cache. But that's going to be so energy like consuming that it makes more sense to just like hack off their head, put it in a bag and carry it. But that's also going to be like, you know, then you could have something in the movies where like a bear's attacking you and you're on the way to mid, but to distract the bear, you just get rid of the head and the bear eats the head. So now you don't get the item, but like you saved your life because you were carrying like meat for the fucking animals or something. I don't know. It's just such a good, I feel like it's such a good twist. Oh, then we go, any questions about that? That's that games. I think that one, I don't know which one I like better. Which one do y'all like better? I feel like the Fallout games would be like way scarier. The fucking lifelink one is like a cool idea, but I think the second one's like fucked. The second one's like, damn, dude, you're gonna have people that are roaming around collecting people's heads to try and fucking cash them in mid so they can get good items. Because if you get night vision, bro, you would be like fucking set. Like, that would be awesome. Or you could have counters. Bro, imagine in the movies somebody has night vision and you have a flare gun. And if you've ever worn night vision goggles, light with night vision is so bright. So you just like shoot a flare right into their face and now they're blinded. You know, oh my God. Like, it would just be cinema. Anyways, I have honorable mentions. Literal Hunger Games. Not enough food for anybody to survive. Short games, people eat each other. Cannibalism. I didn't really flesh this idea out, but it's like, hey, there's gonna be food, but it's like not enough for anyone to survive. There's like no real big game. There's not really animals that are like out and about. It's kind of like a few berries and maybe like squirrels and stuff that could like sustain you for a few days, but like most people would starve to death in like 2 weeks. So you're on like a ticking time bomb. This game would be like 3 days long. 3 days long, or people are going to start eating each other. And that's really when it gets like, you know, fucked or interesting, depending on how you see it. Random number 2, OP games. You remove mid. So you don't spawn at a cornucopia. You kind of spawn randomly around the map, equal distance to each other. And you are given the best 3 items that are suited for your survival needs. You don't get to choose them. They're just given to you. So you'll come up from the spawn in front of you. There are 3 things that are really good for you. You know, so if you're somebody that's like strong and combat intensive, you're going to get a weapon, you know, maybe something to start a fire and like food. If you're good at survival or like tech stuff, you might be given like wiring kits and base like, you know, copper stuff that you're able to use. Like, it really depends. And you got to think, why would they give me these items? What is the reasoning behind this? Sleep deprivation games. This is kind of like the Russian sleep experiment creepypasta. There would constantly be just an invisible gas in the entire arena that you can't smell, but it makes it impossible to sleep. So not only are you not sleeping because you're nervous, you're physically unable to sleep. So it's like the first 2 to 3 days are very normal. You're just tired, you know, but you can't sleep. And then after that, it gets more interesting because you just start fucking hallucinating. I also included an image of somebody yawning. So if you wanted to gauge, you know, maybe this guy's a little eepy. That's how you would feel. And then the shroom games. You just give everybody copious amounts of hallucinogens. You never stop. Like as they're coming up, you just give them, like, you just stick an acid tab to their back, you know, and you just go, good luck, bang. And then you fucking, like, send them out so that everybody's freaking out, you know. Probably some very interesting interactions there if everybody's just tripping the whole time. I think that might be it. That's all. What are we thinking, chat? What are we thinking? I feel like I came up with some pretty good fucking ideas. I didn't, like, spend crazy amounts of time on it, but I will say, like, the last 3 days, I've just been, like, every other hour, I'm just like, damn, what else would be? Oh, my God, I have one more idea. I thought of it today. I thought of it today. Secret Assassin. Kind of like the game that people play senior year in high school. You would start the game with the name of somebody that you're supposed to kill. And if you kill them, you get, like, crazy loot. So then you're kind of hunting people and also constantly being worried that the person that has you is either dead or alive. I feel like that's just even better. You'd have somebody that's just constantly looking for you. And the rule would be it's not the other person in your district. That would be the one thing that you would know to give you some sort of safe feeling. Like, it's not, if you're District 5, it's not the other person in District 5 and they don't have you, you know. Hunter x Hunter. I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter. Is that what it is? But that's what it would be. What are our thoughts? Do we like them? What if there's 4 people, last 4 people, they both kill the other partner and then there's no winner? It would see the exact moment the other person's heart stopped. So the only way that would happen is if you're saying for lifelink, there's 2 teams of 2, they shoot each other with an arrow in the heart at the exact same time and die at the exact same time. That is the only way. And that's mathematically impossible for a human to calculate. Even then, somebody's heart would stop before somebody else. So that wouldn't happen. As to loop back in general purpose of the games, punishment for rebelling of the districts. As to loop back to the premise of the games, punishment for rebellion. What do you mean, bro? What do you mean? Like, what would I have to add? What would I have to add? Punishment for rebellion? I think having to cut your friend's head off and bring it to a fucking cornucopia so you could get good loot is probably pretty good punishment for your parents rebelling thousands of years ago, 100 years ago, whatever it fucking was. Aren't you dead only after your brain stops working? Oh my God. It would be off your heartbeat. It would be off your heartbeat, but it would be like a true measure of death. It's not like you just passed out, your heart stopped, and then you got brought back, right? It's not somebody going into anaphylaxis and then being brought back to life. Like, that's not going to happen. Oh my God, another off the dome, the allergy games. All 24 contestants have unknown allergens that they're deathly allergic to. And they're in the cornucopia is just a bunch of items that everybody's allergic to. And so you're just grabbing stuff and just fucking throwing it at them. Just being like, what are you allergic to? Peanuts, gluten. What else? Alpha-gal, what do you have? No, that would be unfair. The peanut games, everybody's just allergic to peanuts. No. Cats, dairy, there's just a cow in the middle. You're like, what does this apply to? Trying to figure it out. Latex, yeah, there's just gloves. Oh God, that would be terrible. That would take so long to try and, because everybody would just run away. Then you would just have to grab a bunch of items and try and kill them. Shellfish. All right. Well, that's my presentation for my Hunger Games. I could probably come up with more ideas in the future, but that was just now. Let's lock in for a Chilling Scares video. 5 most disturbing cases of real found footage.
On January 8th, 2005, a man named Martin discovered a mysterious package in his mailbox. Confused, he brought it inside and opened it up. Inside the package was a single...
Nope. That's why I'm never doing a fucking P.O. box, too. I saw Jinxie's video, and it literally solidified that I'm never doing a P.O. box. I will so continue to do these Timo videos and Amazon videos where you guys can suggest things. What? No, people were sending Jinxie dead animals after the possum joke. Nope. I know one of y'all would do that. And that's why I'm not opening a P.O. box. That. I've been saying, bro, people can be sending me poop, dead animals. Oh, no. Yeah, no, they're trying to get that guy arrested. That's what Jinxie said. But he, sent him, 5 dead animals, which is just, that's like serial killer shit.
Item. A video...
That's why I would never open those, though. Oh, he just got a VHS tape? Ooh.
A tape with no label or note to explain its contents. Curious to see what was on it, he put it in his camcorder and pressed play. And
what year is this, where he has a VHS recorder? When did he say this was?
On January 8th, 2005, a man...
Okay, 2005, never mind. I was going to say, but he has a VHS fucking cassette player in, 2020?
With no label or note to explain its contents. Curious to see what was on it, he put it in his camcorder and pressed play. And the footage he found on it was shocking to say the least. It contained a nearly hour-long video of a man describing the violent things he was about to do. How he was going to lure his victims, and the makeshift devices he was going to use.
I'm not trained.
Why would this guy put the video in this dude's mailbox, though?
In torture methods, which is what I'm gonna have to make do. I got my drill here. The reason why it's got this padding on it is just to try to silence it a bit, because I'm in an apartment.
They're gonna be screaming.
I got gags, socks, got lots of duct tape. I got a soldering iron, sheets. It's rather crude implements. I think can work wonders, especially if it's used in the right way.
However, while the content itself was extremely grim, what disturbed Martin more was the fact that he personally knew the person on screen. This wasn't the manifesto of a serial...
He knew the guy that put this video for him? What, did he, confess to it or something? So when he would go to jail, you would see this video?
Killer planning to take innocent lives. Instead, it was the final message of Martin's close friend, Ricky Rodriguez. A man who was tormented by a cult from the moment he was born. He eventually managed to
this is fucking real.
Escape the cult and was now planning to take revenge on the people who did unspeakable things to him for all those years. He recorded this hour-long video and mailed it to his few friends and family so they would find it and have all the answers about what he was about to do and why.
I'm making this video, well, for many reasons, I guess. I suppose the main reason is that I want there to be some record of the way I feel, my ideas, just who I was, really.
But what, is he going to kidnap the people that got him involved in the cult at a young age before he got out and then kill them?
Ricky's story began 30 years earlier on January 25, 1975, when he was born as the first child of Karen Alva Zerby. Karen was a member of a cult called the Children of God, which used Christian language to lure in young, impressionable minds, often teenagers, and molded them to its sick and perverse ideals. 2 years after Ricky's birth, he was adopted by the cult's leader, David Burke, who presented himself as the Chosen One. David changed the cult's name to The Family and declared Ricky to be a religious herald, granting him a special position in the organization. However, while he was treated like royalty by the other members on the surface, behind closed doors, Ricky was the victim of vile acts no child should ever have to endure. David not only encouraged these acts, but went as far as to write a whole book about everything he and his followers did to Ricky, called The Story of DeVito. This abuse continued for many years, but as Ricky got older, he became aware of David's lies and manipulation. Then, in 1999, he finally managed to escape the cult with his girlfriend Alexia Manuel by faking a visit to the cult's compound in Mexico and fleeing to the U.S.
Oh my god. He had to be in that cult till he was like 30 years old, and he had to flee the country?
Instead. Reintegration into society after 24 years in an isolated cult was anything but simple. But Ricky somehow managed to pull through and secure a job as an electrician. He also married Alexia and later moved to Tucson, Arizona due to his work. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tried to move forward, the nightmare he escaped continued to haunt him.
What, and they would try and chase him down and bring him back?
David had passed away in 1994, and the cult was now under the supervision of Karen Zerbe, Ricky's mother. And while the cult had managed to escape legal repercussions by mainly operating overseas, Ricky knew that there were still countless children suffering the same fate as him. So, in January of 2005,
was he gonna kill his mom?
He decided enough was enough and took matters into his own hands. Which brings us back to the video he recorded and then mailed to a handful of close friends and his wife. In it, Ricky mentioned his ultimate goal, which was to bring down the cult all on his own. Beyond that, a part of this was also about getting revenge for everything that was done to him.
There's this need that I have. This need, it's not a want, it's a need, and I wish it wasn't, but it is. It's a need for revenge. It's a need for justice. Because I can't go on like this.
In this video, he also laid out his plan for accomplishing this goal. He'd apparently gotten in contact with his previous nanny, Angela Smith, who was among the group that tormented him during his time in the cult. He was going to invite her over for—
But every single person was fucking torturing this guy in the cult, but he was the chosen one? I don't understand what they were using. Like, I understand how cults manipulate people, but how are they perceiving David as this guy that's like, you know, a herald or somebody higher up in their, I guess, religion in their mind, but still abusing him?
Dinner at his apartment in Tucson and make her tell everything she knew about the other members' whereabouts by any means necessary. And that's exactly what he did. On January 8th, after mailing copies of his recording, he invited Angela into his home and proceeded with the plan. It's unclear what information he managed to extract from her before taking her life. He then got into his car and drove to Blythe, California. There, he rented a motel and called his wife to tell her about what he had done and what he was going to do next. However, despite the meticulous planning, Ricky ultimately couldn't follow through with the rest of his plan. On the morning of January 9th, authorities found his car in a parking lot just a few miles from the hotel he was staying at. Ricky was found inside the car as well, where he had taken his own life.
But they can't— oh. Well, I mean, it's sad he killed himself. It's sad he killed someone. But, like, what this guy had been through is fucking awful. I'm not saying I wanted him to, you know, murder people. But at the same time, it sucks this cult is effectively torturing children, and just being in a different country is—
And while this was
they just can't get that.
Tragic news for his loved ones, it was hardly surprising for his wife. You see, Ricky believed that killing the cultists would bring him peace, something he reiterated in his last video.
I can imagine how I would feel, how liberating it would be.
But that's not what happened. During his call
he didn't feel better at all
with his wife, he confessed that despite his anger and resentment, killing Angela was the hardest thing he had ever done. Taking revenge didn't bring the comfort he was looking for. He couldn't bring himself—
it probably made it worse
to take any more lives.
Because then he was so motivated to get that revenge, and then when that revenge didn't give him the reward he felt, he just felt 10 times worse.
And decided to end it all.
Bro said, shut up. All right, I'm a ban your dumb ass.
All that night, leaving his friends and family with this hour-long video to remember him by. As for the family cult, it remains active to this day under the leadership of his mother.
Really? What is the name of this cult again? The Family? The Family Cult Leader. No, what was it called before? The Children of God? The Family International Leader. Yeah, made by David Brandt Berg, but who is the current leader of the cult? What was the woman's name? Till present day, the Love Charter is the family's set governing document that entails each member's rights, responsibilities, and requirements. It's not saying recent teachings. Like, what do they do now? That's crazy, though. The mom birthed him into the cult and then let him get abused. Became the cult leader herself. Fucking awful.
On October 4th, 2006, at approximately 6:15 a.m., the Barrie Police Department received a chilling call from a woman saying, "My children are dead," in a calm and quiet voice. The disconnect between her tone and the situation she was describing was extremely unsettling. When asked what happened, she replied, "I don't know, I don't remember." Police
She kill her kids.
officers immediately rushed to the address she provided and knocked on the door of her apartment, bracing for what they might find. The door opened and they were greeted by 31-year-old Frances Elaine Campione. When the officers asked her about the children she mentioned on her call, she replied in the same disturbingly calm voice, stating, "Yes, they're dead. They're on my bed." As the officer...
Isn't it a not common phenomena, but something that happens where new mothers feel an overwhelming urge to murder their kid? Postpartum psychosis is a psychiatric emergency that people have soon after having a child, characterized by hallucinations, paranoia, other behaviors, and a disrupted sense of reality. Thoughts of harming their baby and severe symptoms are, and then it actually has a health line that you can call. I would assume they would take your kid. Conditions are treatable. Seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Oh yeah, if you're going through that, fucking get help if you want to kill your kid.
Officers entered the master bedroom. He saw the remains of 2 little girls.
Okay, if this is real found footage, though, I cannot show that. Oh, it's her showing the kids prior. Okay.
3-year-old Serena and 19-month-old Sophia lying on the bed. Both were dressed in clean clothes and were also wearing necklaces and earrings. However, their skin was starting to turn blue, suggesting they might have been deceased for quite some time. One of the officers also noticed a small bruise on Sophia's forehead, and that was it. There was nothing else in the room that could have explained their deaths. But as the investigators looked through Elaine's apartment, they found a camcorder with footage that explained everything. The recording started on a wholesome note, showing Elaine surprising Serena with a new bike on her 3rd birthday on August 8th.
Hi, Serena. It's August 8th.
Is there a dad in the picture, or
2006. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Serena. Happy birthday to you. Serena's 3 today. Yay! Shall we go to the...
Oh my god, this is so fucking sad. Oh my god, that's so fucking sad. She killed both of her kids. Oh my god, and the way she was singing happy birthday. That's like how every mom sings it.
living room and see if you got
like in that exact tone.
any birthday presents from the birthday fairies? Yes! Okay, let's go. I have to go. What is it? It's a bike.
The next video also showed Elaine and her 2 daughters just hanging around and having fun.
I love you. This much. Oh, I love you more than that.
So far, everything looked quite normal. However, the 3rd recording, dated October 2nd, was when things started to get weird. The tone of the recordings instantly changed as Elaine suddenly went on and on about their horrible living conditions and the torment her ex-husband Leo and his family had put her through, said all in front of her children.
You can't see through the camera, boo-hoo. Oh, yes, this is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look that bad. If I'm being real. There's stuff on the floor, but it looks like a normal family apartment.
I think Diego Campione is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins. The same as Leonardo. All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo.
I get that. My mom went through a fucking terrible divorce, and she was still a great mother to me. No excuse. Sorry. You could go through a fucking shitty divorce. You care about your kids first and foremost. If you are ever a fucking parent, your #1 immediate priority becomes your kids, and that's a fucking fact, and that's how it should always be, and that's a fucking good parent. No matter the situation you're going through, your kids might be in a shit situation, but if you're doing all that you can as a parent, that's all that fucking matters.
Campione, and then the past...
Sucking, blaming. Yeah, I understand being mad at them, and you could be mad at the dad. You could be mad at the situation. You could be mad at what they're putting you through, but you still just fucking push.
Year from Anna and Diego Campione,
like, now I'm getting mad. Killing your fucking kids ain't the answer.
Mental and emotional.
This ain't even no postpartum shit. This is just the mom wanting to get out of a fucking shit situation. This actually pisses me off.
emotional abuse, which wouldn't stop, and I had CAS keep bringing these two people into my life over and over again when I kept telling them the amount of mental and emotional abuse it was causing my 3-year-old daughter Serena and I and Sophia. It was horrible and uncalled for, and I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have.
Leo was apparently extremely abusive, both physically and mentally. He prevented her from contacting her parents, and at one point even kicked her in her stomach while she was pregnant. This resulted in Leo getting charged with domestic violence, and the two getting divorced. However, at the time of this recording, Leo was starting to turn things around, and was engaged in a legal battle with Elaine over the custody of their daughters. This took an immense toll on Elaine's mental health. She was already quite unstable and had been to the psych ward twice.
Yeah, and that fucking sucks. And like, I'm sorry if anyone, including her, had to go through that. But it's like, the solution is fight for your fucking kids. Fight for custody of your fucking kids. If you care about your kids, you fight for the custody of your kids. You don't fucking kill your children.
In the past couple of years. But according to her mother, the custody battle caused her to lose it completely and develop severe paranoia. She became worried that Leo would one day show up and forcibly take her daughters away. Then, on October 2nd, after ending this recording at 8:39 p.m.
So she killed her children?
Elaine did the unthinkable by taking the lives of her own daughters, then recording a haunting confession that investigators discovered on the same camera.
Oh my god, this is after?
Because Leo there, are you happy? Everything is gone. You wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. I begged. You even had Stacy not believing me till he...
Yeah, no, that's fucking terrible. You killed your children! Like, the husband is, yeah, he's a fucking asshole. He's a terrible person. What the fuck?
I had to sign papers when I didn't. I went to victim witness to get the truth. Trying, begging everyone the truth. How you beat me for 3 years behind closed doors, beat me when I was pregnant with Serena and Sophia. You didn't care about our babies, you didn't care about me, you cared about yourself. You wanted to win, you won. Are you happy? How does it make you feel? How does it make you feel? Because it doesn't make me feel great.
Her trying to pin this and being like, they're dead because of you. Like, what the fuck? This is just like, kill your children, play the victim card. Like, yes, she went through terrible shit, and she did originally get justice for that, and then he had a legal battle, and I'm agreeing that they shouldn't have had the custody of the kid. But then you kill the kid and go, are you happy now?
I've lost everything my whole life.
At this point, the camera cut to a later...
Gives a fuck you lost everything. You killed your kids. The only thing that matters in your fucking life is your goddamn kids now. You're a fucking mom. You're a fucking mother.
point where Elaine attempted to take her own.
I tried to overdose.
That means remodeling time at their Aurelia and Bracebridge stores. They are changing the displays. Now is the time to make a great deal on an Ontario-made hydro-cooled hot tub. In-stock models, floor models, or custom orders, everything has a sale price. Pool Spa Sauna Showroom, making waves. In Aurelia, Bracebridge, and soon to be in Huntsville. You can also check them out on the web at poolspasaunashowroom.com.
Elaine was arrested on the spot and was later charged with murder, with the found footage in her home serving as crucial evidence against her. She was ultimately sent.
I don't understand the motive to kill them, is where I'm not following at all. Like, I understand she had been to the psych ward twice. I understand what she had gone through. But in what scenario is killing your kids the best option? Even the only option? None. That's never a scenario where that's the best option.
Sentenced to life in prison.
She was thinking, if I can't have them, then you can't either. Yeah, I think it's like when like people get obsessed with somebody and they're like, if I can't have you, no one can, and then they kill them, like stalker psychos, like similar. Like, where it's like, if I'm going to lose my kids, then you can't have them either.
With the possibility of parole after 25 years. Years ago, the Bureau of Land Management published a public service announcement dubbed Stay Out and Stay Alive, educating viewers about the countless dangers of exploring abandoned mines, including the very real risk of cave-ins, volatile explosives, wild animals, and entire sections without oxygen. However,
I mean, yeah, dude, snakes alone. Don't snakes kill like 1 million people every fucking year? Like, that shit's scary. Going in abandoned areas where snakes are. How many people die to snakes? Between 81,000... Oh, no, I'm off. Between 81,000 and 138,000 people die each year from snake bites. That's still a shitload. 1.8 to 2.7 million people experience snake bite venom and suffer severe or permanent disabilities.
The most chilling part of the video was the story and the accompanying found footage of an accident that had occurred years earlier. On July 4th, 1998, a group of young men found an abandoned mine in Nevada and decided to explore it for fun. Though, surprisingly, the boys seemed acutely aware of the mistake they were making right from the start.
As you see Briz pointing out, stay alive. It's a good point, but we're not too smart, so we're gonna go anyway.
This is an unsafe mine. Danger.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then they die?
And the allure of exploring a place untouched for decades was too tempting for them to ignore.
On the 4th of July?
However, the deeper they went into the mine, the more dangerous it became, with the boys walking over sketchy wooden bridges to continue their journey. They even found signs of the mine caving in, but chose to ignore those signs just to venture deeper.
And even, dude, even if this wasn't, like, marked as unsafe, this is an old mine shaft, and they're tightrope walking on old wooden boards. Like, what if this was dry rotted, and you just fell through? That's why, like, abandoned building, like, you know, exploration people, what is it called? There's, like, a name for that. Like, abandoned exploration. What is that called? Urbex. Yeah, Urbex is, like, safe if done by the right people and with the right knowledge, but, like, you could walk into an abandoned building that just collapses on top of you. Not, like, naturally, but, like, you being there disrupts whatever it is because it's so old.
Caving in, but chose to ignore those signs just to venture deeper.
If you look at all this, there's lots of rocks and stuff that have fallen from the ceiling, which indicates that probably not a good idea to be walking this way. And, well, they've already fallen, so they're not gonna fall again. Well, there's more to fall still.
An important thing to keep in mind is that these weren't professionals with prior experience of safely exploring abandoned mines. This was just a group of boys looking to do something cool and film the
And had never been down here before.
adventure. They could have easily plunged to their deaths down a 1,000-foot mine shaft or gotten lost in the miles-long maze of tunnels, which started looking more and more likely as time went on.
Yeah, we gotta remember.
Yeah, they're like not marking their tracks, you know? If I was going in this cave for the first time, wouldn't you bring like string or like something to mark walls? Like it just like pans out to like 3 different like possible tunnels, and that happens every fucking 100 feet. Like eventually you're gonna forget where the hell you are.
Remember where we're. Okay, we got out here.
Who painted these X's and stuff? Grant. What do they mean? Dead ends and stuff. Okay, they're all got an X on.
Oh my god, are they lost?
This way. That one's got an X. But it's also got that. What does the diamond mean?
Where's that go?
Goes down.
A long way.
Ooh, that's not a little. Well, it'd be kind of hard if you slipped and fell. You could catch yourself before you actually fell down there.
Not if panic set in and you scream like a little girl.
Toxic gases and radioactive elements could have also caused.
Yeah, they could just walk into a room full of fucking gas, spores, some other shit.
Serious health issues down the line, if not immediately. Fortunately, they somehow managed
And only one of them has a hard hat. They're all just walking in raw.
to avoid all of these dangers and make their way fairly deep into the mine. But then they came across something that could have ended all of their lives in one fell swoop.
Got them pipes. Oh, wow. We have to climb that?
Yeah, don't everybody keep up.
I got
You're gonna be the lucky one to fall.
This is going to America's Funniest when somebody falls. That's a good idea.
I don't know if it'll go to America's Funniest Home Videos. This is, if you fell, you die.
Alrighty. Oh, that's hey, we're going.
And then, like, dude, what if one of them did fall? Like, you know how fucking traumatizing that would be? Now you have to get out of the fucking cave. You just watched your friend fucking fall to his death.
I hope the ropes.
While crossing a sketchy section of the mine, one of the boys noticed a rope dangling down from one of the wooden beams and immediately became curious about whatever was down there.
It's down to the main shaft.
Wow, so we're climbing down this rope.
Yeah.
How far down?
Bro!
How are we getting out of it? Climbing up it. I see.
They had little rope.
How do they know they have the fucking strength to do that, let alone the rope fucking strength itself to hold all their weight?
Climbing experience between them. However, they didn't let
outside of fucking gym class
that stop them from accomplishing their desires. The guy named Adam decided to be the first one to descend, resulting in this.
How far down does it go?
All the way down to that lattice you were saying now?
We're
Like a good 30 feet.
Where am I gonna hook this
I'll go
camera?
first. I am. About 300 feet.
Oh, I thought it snapped.
You don't like to break out. Put it like he's doing it into your mouth. That. It's all like this. Is it off now?
It's not. How am I gonna get this thing down there?
Dude, my heart is racing.
Yeah, but how am I gonna get back up? I don't have.
Hey, good. Give you my belt. Stretch on it.
Adam!
Oh! Adam!
Hello?
Adam!
Yes.
Adam!
Oh, God. Oh, God. Somebody help.
Adam!
The rope Adam chose to trust was completely worn and gave way shortly after putting his weight on it. This caused him to plunge 65 feet down a dark mine shaft and lose consciousness. Luckily, none of the damage he took on his way down was immediately lethal. He was still breathing.
He was alive?
His friends were able to find an exit and contact the authorities, who eventually rescued Adam after an
oh my God.
hours-long rescue mission. Ultimately, them escaping the mine without any casualties was nothing short of a miracle. The mine shaft could have easily been over 100 feet deep, or Adam could have just as easily hit his head on the
Yeah, fucking landed on his neck and died.
surrounding wall. Both of these scenarios would have resulted in his death. What's even worse is that the whole group could have gotten stranded in the shaft if the rope broke.
Or if they got panicked and then fucking, like, you know, they get panicked, they don't remember how to find their way out.
When the last person was going down. With no way to contact the outside world, the group would have likely died of starvation. Fortunately, they were able to walk away from this terrifying experience with just a few broken bones.
Yeah, as fucked as that is, that was literally, if they were gonna go down, that was the best scenario. Because if they all got down and then one guy's going up and it breaks, it's like, now you're just fucking stuck down there.
Along with cuts and scratches.
Unless there was some capability to climb back up.
On the 25th of February 2022, the Perea Fuel Company hired maintenance workers to reopen one of the underwater pipes connecting their oil unloading dock and refinery. The operation team included 5 men: Christopher, Kazim, Yusuf, Rishi, and Faisal. They were going to use a pressurized habitat to inspect the pipe and make any necessary repairs. However, shortly after entering this habitat, all 5 men disappeared from the worksite, leaving those on the surface to wonder what could have happened. It wasn't until rescuers found footage from a GoPro mounted to one of the divers' suits that the full truth came to light. The footage showed the men struggling to open the valve keeping the pipe shut, prompting Kazim to go get a wrench. He returned to the habitat and handed the wrench over to his co-workers. But then, a few seconds later, this happened.
Dude, underwater welding and just having to be somebody that works on, like, either, like, heavy equipment or deep underwater or on fucking electrical things, fucking the worst jobs ever. I'll scan it. The worst jobs ever. That's why, like, don't underwater welders make, like, $200,000 a year? Like, they make good money, but it's, like, fucking dangerous as shit. It's a hard job. You're usually away from your fucking family. It doesn't look like it's going to be TOS. I would assume it either implodes or he loses consciousness. It's not really showing anything. Chilling Scares videos usually are not TOS. I mean, this video is very low quality. What just happened?
The moment the valve was opened, its low pressure created a powerful vacuum. Water
and it sucked him into it?
Rushed into the habitat, while the pressurized air violently forced everyone into the pipe. All 5 of the men were forced into the 30-inch wide pipe, faster than they could blink. After tumbling through the metal pipe at violent
I'm very confused. So this is the pipe and they just got shot inside of it?
speeds for a minute and a half.
30 inches. How did all 5 of them?
They came to a stop at a section containing a small air pocket, just enough to keep them alive, allowing them a brief moment to find their bearings and assess the gravity of their situation.
Oh my god, it's pitch black.
All of them were barely breathing, and one of them had also injured his leg. And while the air pocket was keeping them alive for the moment, it wasn't going to last very long. So, with no other option, the 2 men at the front—
Wait, so where did they enter the pipe? Like somewhere at the bottom and then it shot them up and they had to crawl upward?
and Christopher and Faisal started moving forward in hopes of reaching the pipe's end and getting help for the other 3. But after making their way through several flooded sections, Faisal lost hope and refused to go any further. This left Christopher to continue alone and ultimately reach the end of the pipe, where he was eventually pulled out by rescuers. Unfortunately, the same did not happen for his 4 co-workers.
No, if they all went through, would they have made it?
Days passed and the rescue efforts were slim to none, eventually leaving the other 4 to die in that cramped metal tube. The company's CEO later defended this decision, stating that a rescue mission would have only endangered more lives. The incident sparked widespread outrage and even forced the region—
I mean, how would that— couldn't they cut into the pipe in some way to try and get them out of it? I don't understand how that would have—
government to launch an inquiry into how such a disaster was allowed to happen in the first place.
Yeah.
But as is the case with countless similar incidents, nothing much came of it, despite the numerous hearings. The other 4 divers were left for dead.
Wait, so which one lived?
That said, the Trinidad government did announce a compensation of $1 million for each of their families, as well as Christopher, in April 2025.
Oh my god, and all 4 of your fucking coworkers and friends die. You're the only one that makes it out. Like, that's always that shit. I'm not saying, like, oh, it would be better to be dead. Because it would, like, obviously, you know, getting out of that would be obviously the best and only scenario. But getting out alive and just having survivor's guilt, like being the last person in the plane crash in India, being the only person that gets out on a boat, the only person that survives a shooting or a war or a battle, like, fuck, dude. Oh.
On April 28, 2000, 22-year-old Russian diving instructor Yuri Lipsky decided to reach the depths of the Blue Hole in Dahab, Egypt.
Oh my god, I think we saw a video about this.
This was a risky plan from the get-go, since the Blue Hole is widely regarded as the deadliest diving site in the world, with as many as 200 fatalities in recent years.
And then why were people going back down?
To make matters worse, before his dive—
Oh no, is this the video that I showed chat where the guy loses consciousness, or no, like he thinks he's swimming up, but he's actually just floating down and he hits the bottom of the fucking blue hole?
Yuri asked a local technical diver to accompany him on his journey. All of them rejected him, since the preparations for this risky of a dive took as long as a week. Yet Yuri wanted to go in just 2 days.
Nah, I don't think this is it.
No matter what. Even after every instructor—
What? I'm talking about a video— Wait, let me scan to see if this is it. Oh no, this is it. No, this is the video. I've showed this.
refused to support his—
I've showed that this is fucking terrifying.
plan.
This is the worst one out of all of them.
Instead of backing out, Yuri made the worst mistake of his life and chose to go through with it alone. He started the dive around noon and quickly disappeared into the depths of the ocean.
Because, like, when you're really deep in the ocean, you don't— getting, you know, oriented on what's up and down is really hard. And I think he mixed the, like, nitrogen and oxygen in his tank wrong, which started to make him hallucinate slightly, and he thought he was swimming sideways across the rocks while he's scuba diving, but he's actually going down. And it got to the point where when you're so deep in the ocean, you are actually unable to swim up because you weigh so much and there's so much pressure on you that you're stuck down there, and he's just, like, literally just waiting to die.
However, many hours passed, and there was no sign of Yuri anywhere. His concerned mother enlisted the help of a local technical diver named Tariq Omar, who immediately set out to rescue her son. Unfortunately, by the time he found Yuri, it was already too late. Tariq discovered Yuri's lifeless body floating near the floor of the Blue Hole. The next day, he returned with the necessary equipment to bring Yuri's body back to the surface and got to work. But as he was about to take Yuri back, he noticed that Yuri's diving camera was lying nearby. So he grabbed that as well and began ascending. This camera had captured the final moments of Yuri in haunting detail.
Oh, this is already when he's at the bottom. Like, if you could watch the full YouTube video of this, it cuts off well before he dies. But it's like, you can see him casually snorkeling, like, not that far deep, and it just gets darker and darker. And it is fucking scary. We'll actually just watch it. And I'll scroll through it. Yuri scuba diving blue hole. It's like a 9-minute or 10-minute video. Here it is, 7 minutes. Like, he's not alone at the start. There's other people that are scuba diving with him. And, like, this is where he's near the surface. You can see there's a bunch of fish. And he starts just swimming. And he kind of ventures off alone. And you think he looks like he's swimming sideways. But he's actually swimming down. And as he goes deeper, it's darker and darker. And he's going, oh, fuck. And he's just stuck on the bottom. I think he faints. Or he tries to, like, swim up, but he can't. Because he's just so deep. How deep is the blue hole? 115 meters. 22-year-old Russian diving instructor in 2000 went 115 meters. So that's, whatever, 300 feet.
Many other divers. However, it wasn't long before everyone else faded from view as he started to descend deeper into the blue hole. And that's when all the worst possible things started happening in rapid succession. It started with him failing to keep his gas levels under check, resulting in him getting nitrogen poisoning and becoming extremely disoriented. By the time he realized his situation, he was already sinking like a rock.
Yeah, 377 feet. How do you put that in perspective? Like, how tall, how many stories is 377 feet? That'd be a 35-story building. It's taller than the Statue of Liberty. So he went that deep and didn't realize until, like, almost when he was at the bottom.
He started panicking and began inflating his buoyancy control device quickly to avoid sinking any further. Tragically, this backfired. The buoyancy control device bursted due to the rapidly increasing pressure, leaving Yuri no way of safely returning to the surface.
And then you're like, what way is up? Oh my god, no.
Struggling to breathe, ending with him sinking to the 377 feet or 115 meters deep sea floor and passing away. The only silver lining in this whole situation is that there's a good chance the found footage helped at least one diver avoid a similar fate by learning from the mistakes that cost Yuri his life.
I also think in scenarios like this, this should be a banned diving site. I understand it's like some people just aren't taking the necessary precautions, and that's like, you know, preventable stuff. But when like 200 plus people are dying here, that's like, you need to not allow other people to go there. Like, that's just unsafe. It was a good video. When animals eat their owners.
How you doing? How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about pets eating their owners. I don't know why we're necessarily doing this. It's just been kind of a topic here at Meat Studios. I just thought it's been fast.
It's been a topic at Meat Studios. You're just going to work. Hey, when are we gonna make a video about when, you know, people eat their owners? What about that? How many animals have eaten their fucking owners? How, like, is that a common occurrence? Maybe with dogs or cats, if you just keel over and die. I've heard of there. I didn't know the person, but I knew a person who knew a person who died, and their cats ate them, like, one of their entire legs off because they had like 3 cats and they were dead for like 2 days before somebody found them, and then the cats ate them. But they never really kill you, right? Your pets usually wait for you to die, unless you have like a tiger or something, and then they'll eat you. So will your dog after a period of time. Less likely than a cat. But a cat will almost immediately eat you. Like, they won't even wait. Like, you'll be like dying, and they might start snacking on you.
I thought, why not make a video and indulge you on some of the conversations that we've been having here at the studios? Why would a pet eat one of its owners, right? Well, the answer is simple. They're animals. Typically, no matter how much of a bond you have with your pet, when they get hungry, they will revert back to their animal instincts and eat their owners to survive. I've heard this a lot too.
Well, that was just a shitty dog from the Dog Whisperer show. Do I think my dog would eat me? Chat, do you think Daisy would eat me? If this becomes a video, editor, throw up a picture of Daisy. Do you think my dog would eat me? I think she'd give it a week. Oh my God, that's so sad. Wait, my dog would eat me. But if she wouldn't kill me, she would eat me if she was starving. I'd do the same. I would never kill my dog, but if I'm in an apocalypse and my dog dies, I'd eat her. To stay alive, she's already dead, you know? That's a very fair thing to say. I don't think, okay, for the people saying, what the fuck, I think I'm being perfectly logical right now. I gave you guys this scenario with a human, and I had less of a backlash than I'm getting right now from you guys, okay? About 2-3 months ago, we had the conversation on you and your friend are in the woods and one of you dies, would you eat them? And most of you said yes, okay? So now that we're talking about a dog, it's an entirely different story, and now this is sick that I'm saying this. I would never kill and eat my dog, okay? But if we're in an apocalypse, I'm starving, and my dog dies, I'm eating my dog. She's going to eat me. Would I not be able to do it originally? Oh, for sure. It would be hard, right? It wouldn't just be like eating chicken. I would be crying. But to survive, and you guys could say, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to say. And for you guys that are like, I would never eat Mr. Fluffles. Yes, the fuck you would. You dumb fuck. I wanted to be more mean, but I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. You're an idiot and you would, okay? You're saying you wouldn't? You're starving. Most of you in chat have never been starving, okay? And then Mr. Fluffles dies conveniently, and you go, I'm going to eat him, right? And you do that. I mean, let's be real, okay? We had this same damn conversation 3 months ago talking about you and your best friend. Most of you guys said you would eat me. So get the fuck out of here. Nah, I'm actually pressed now. I remember having this conversation 3 months ago, and most of you guys, I remember saying me in a chatter, and most of you said you would eat me in a scenario where you were fucking starving. So get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm not going to eat a dog. Oh, but you would eat me. If I'm in an apocalypse, I don't want anybody to kill me, but if I die, eat me. I'm dead. What do you mean? What the fuck? That's disrespectful. You're dead. I don't understand this shit. Where it's like, where people are like, I need this, and this. I'm going to say this, right? Whatever the hell you want to have done with your body when you die is up to you, okay? But I'm dead, right? Fucking throw me in a goddamn fire, okay? Cremate my ashes, flush them down the fucking toilet. For all I give a shit. I'm dead, right? I don't exist anymore. I'm gone, right? What's the shit? I need these flowers here, and I need this here, and this here, and this here. Why are people so damn picky? You're not there for the fucking funeral. Your soul is watching. Okay, that's why I'm not going to sit here. Like, if you want to have this, and that at your fucking funeral, fine. But, like, I don't want to put $45,000 in extra fees on my fucking family when I'm dead. You know what I mean? You would eat Brooke? I wouldn't be able to do that. No. I think if I was starving, dude, I mean, I'm going to be a very upfront person. I love my dog. But in a scenario where I'm starving, it would be way easier to eat my dog than a human, right? What? Would you eat me? I don't know. I don't want it. Dude, what are you guys get? You guys are just trying to give me fucking scenarios where I'm going to say I would eat a person. That's what you guys are doing. I know you. Chat. I know. I don't know you individually, but I know what you guys do, and you're just trying to lead me down a fucking path where I'd go, oh yeah, I'd fucking eat somebody, and then you're gonna go, what? No, I would never kill. I would never kill my dog. I would never want to eat a person, bro. I'm saying if you're starving and your dog's already fucking dead, and you didn't kill him, they just died of natural causes. Yeah, you're gonna fucking eat him. Same thing. Your dog's gonna fucking eat you. Moving on.
Cats are very notorious for as soon as you're dead.
What's the best part of a human? I would assume a calf. Now stop. Now you're getting me off on a tangent here. Moving on.
They're gonna eat you immediately. If anything, don't they say that cats are always wanting to eat you, but they're like too big or something? I think.
Yeah, you're too big for them to eat you.
Hold on a second. Allison will know this. Hey, Allison.
Hey.
You know how cats will eat their owners after they're dead, just like immediately? Is it also the thing where don't cats also want to kill and eat their owners already when they're alive?
No, they also don't always eat their owner when they're die. They'll wait till they're hungry.
That kind of throws a wrench in what I just said. Okay. Well, no. All right. Well, I'm glad I asked you because the people would have been mad that I'm wrong.
Okay.
I think it depends on the cat. I've met some pretty mean cats, and I think Daisy would wait a week. I think Daisy would get a little hungry, right? She might start at my feet, right? She might nibble me down a little bit. I think she'd wait to eat my face. I hope she would wait to eat my face. That would be upsetting if she ate my face first. I don't know. And then, see, this is contradicting what I'm just saying where I'm like, I'm dead, I don't care. But, you know, just out of respect for me, you know, you could eat me. I'd be like, Daisy, you could eat me, you know, but can you wait? Like, eat my face last.
It is very common for dogs to be gentle and protective around newly deceased people. Not my dogs, dude. Tugboat. He would immediately
Tugboat? His dog's named Tugboat? Yeah, that's actually so funny.
There wouldn't be a slight hesitation. First responders have stated, quote, their dogs would leave them alone, hover near them, or even try to protect them. There are exceptions to this rule, like an incident that took place in 1997, when a man in his 30s took his own life in his house.
Yeah, I heard about this, and a German Shepherd ate its whole face.
The police entered the scene to find a friendly German Shepherd minding his own business. Upon bringing the dog along with him, the dog began to vomit his owner's skin, hair, and blood, only 45 minutes after he passed. Dude, you better believe that dead guy would have been finger licking good, dude. Big old bug.
I think it's different if you have blood showing for a dog, as crazy as it is. If you're near your dog, you have a heart attack and die, I think they don't eat you immediately. You shoot yourself and you're bleeding. You ever have a cut around your dog? Oh, their eyes fucking widen, dude. You ever have a cut around your dog or like a nosebleed? Like I remember I had a nosebleed start dripping on the floor. Oh my God, dude, you thought my dog would think it's a slurp juice. Jesus Christ, she was fucking licking the floor like more than when I drop fucking anything on the floor, dude. Just freaking out over that shit.
Yeah, like fingers, toes, something like that. A toe would be devious. A devious toe? No way. It is common for dogs to lick a deceased owner in order to wake them up. When the attempt fails, they often panic. The licking can soon turn to biting to the point of drawing blood. I want you to wake
to try and get them to wake up.
Wake up, dude. Damn.
That'd be my dogs, Teddy and Max.
Yeah, your dogs.
I would be devoured.
They have eaten people before. Your dog looks like a human being. According to Dr. Carolyn Rondo from the UCL Institute of Archaeology, this could trigger an instinctive behavior, resulting in more wounding and eventually consumption of human tissue. And it is common for feeding to start at the face and neck before moving to the chest and after.
No. I mean, yeah, it's the exposed body part.
Start with a nice face, a nice neck. Maybe some titties, soft tissue, easy to bite into. Like I said, finger licking good.
I watched a documentary where hyenas ate this elephant's hole first because his skin was too thick.
I would do the exact same, dude. In a situation where there's sense of weakness, there's a hierarchical shift that may provoke an attack. And of course, if animals were confined without an owner for long enough, they are left with no choice but to eat them to stay alive.
See, that makes sense. If I was dead for like a day.
Dude, if I was dead and my dog was trapped, I'd be like, get at me, dude. Survive while you can. Because at some point, someone's going to be like, what the, hopefully something, yeah, my ass. People would be like, man, I haven't heard from him. Good. With all this in mind, let's talk about some of the crazy incidents of pets eating their owners. It's a positive video for the day. Oh my God. Starting off with rodent.
Remember when Joe said he would eat a baby even if he's not starving? I never said that. Now you're just making shit up. You're a shitty chatter and I'm banning you.
Creates a nest out of human remains. Nice title. There are a few recorded cases of rodents, namely hamsters, being especially gruesome when faced with the
hamsters.
Would not expect that of a hamster. If I'm being honest, or should they be?
No, I would. You remember when we watched that video where hamsters were mauling that cockroach? Hamsters are vicious.
Cages? Do people let their hamsters roam free?
I at least let my hamster roam free.
You're the smelly kid, dude. You're definitely the smelly kid in school. He smells like a ferret. In one case, a 43-year-old woman had passed away while her golden hamster was out of its cage. When the police entered the home, they found that the woman's face had several tissue defects. In a nearby drawer, the hamster had created a makeshift nest using hair, skin, and muscle fragments. Oh, I tell you what, though, that is awesome. Well, I don't need this anymore, do you, Mother? Mother, do you need your cheekbones anymore? Your teeth?
You know what would have been sick if they opened the drawer and it was just her face.
Oh, yeah, they open the drawer and it's just her face like this.
Oh, like perfectly cut out.
Wasn't that fucking The hamster had also been gnawing on the skull of the victim in order to grind its front teeth down to acquire calcium. Easily accessible parts of the woman, like the face and arms, were being devoured over time. We cannot show this picture. And in another case of rodents, a woman in her late 70s was found dead in her home from pneumonia. She lived alone with her golden hamster. What the f is up with golden hamsters, dude? She lived alone with her golden hamster.
I feel like hamsters are almost always in their cage, though.
Which we're quickly finding out are just little demons, who now had to fend for itself. The hamster began slowly eating the woman's body, and when police arrived, she was found with...
Well, yeah, dude, they're just like cuter rats.
Both hands amputated and missing a large amount of muscle and soft.
Both hands amputated. It bit through the bone?
Tissue. That is brutal. When it comes to post-mortem injuries, it is common for homeless people to be victims of rodents. And in one reported instance, a 41-year-old homeless man's body was found injured within an hour of his reported death. Well, dude, that's also street rats. Street rats are basically, I mean, like, I would consider them to be almost...
like fucking... Like mutated zombies, dude. Street rats are like the size of fucking like milk jugs. They're huge.
Humans with just how...
You ever see a New York City rat? They're fucking big. Like big. Like not all of them are that big, but that's a big ass fucking rat. That's not some shit. Like, dude, like maybe 10 of those could kill you.
If this was in New York, have you seen those rats that are like the size of a cat?
Yeah.
I would.
It depends, though. Some of them are big. Some
I would.
Of them are small.
I don't think I could take down a regular rodent like that.
So you couldn't handle 12 if they cornered you?
No.
Yeah. How many of those New York City rats do you think you could kill in a fight? Bare hands to the death. 10. I think you take out a bunch of them with a swift kick, but once like 4, 5, 6 of them get on you and they start biting on you and clawing, then you can't really throw them off as quick.
If I was at my house and I was like, I fell down and I can't get up, like life alert button, help me. And I had like, let's say for some reason I had 12 hamsters. Do I think I could overpower 12 hamsters? I mean, imagine one of them bites.
Oh, easily. 12 hamsters? Yeah. 12 hamsters, you chuck them, dude. They're like baseballs. You throw them at a fucking wall and they die. I mean, like a rat, a New York City rat's got grit. A New York City rat's had struggle. They felt pain. And they know what it's like, you know? They're gonna fucking eat you alive. A New York City rat. Those things, you throw it against a wall, it's just gonna get back up.
Your ankle, and then bite your neck. It's gonna turn into one of those situations. I could see myself easily folding to 12 hamsters.
A street rat stole my wallet at gunpoint. No, but you walk into an alleyway, you start hearing. Boom, 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 boom. You turn over, it's just like 5 rats. One of them's wearing a fucking black fedora, smoking a cigarette.
Vogel, a 30-year-old German man, died after his pet black widow spider named Bettina.
Okay, who the fuck has a pet black widow spider?
Bit him. Dude, why the fuck do people need to have bugs as pets? I know there's going to be some weird...
I didn't even know people had black widows as pets.
Weird-ass people being like, my spider would never do that to me. Or my horde of grasshoppers in my closet. As we're going to have. So we definitely have some bug fans, dude.
My nephew's a bug fan. He's got spiders and...
He has pet spiders? Cut that out.
I would own a centipede. I think centipedes are really cool.
Cut it out.
Mantises.
Or roly-polies. I love roly-polies.
The man was known to be reclusive as well as an avid collector of insects and reptiles. And watch out. Like I said, I got nipped that in the bud quick. According to spider experts, Kogel was in possession of creatures that should never be allowed in a private home.
Yeah, I don't know why you would own a black widow spider. Like, aren't those obscenely poisonous?
That's something you like to hear. It was discovered that the man owned a boa constrictor. Oh, God, I could never. If I went into somebody's house and had a boa constrictor, I would Sudoku myself. And then the snake would eat me, and then I would actually be in hell. A boa constrictor, poisonous frogs, why? And 200 spiders. Dude, 200! Some of which are described as, quote, the equivalent of a pit bull in the animal. Some of which were described as the equivalent of a pit bull in the animal world. What does that mean? Are they saying that one
They're aggressive
individual spider is as dangerous as a pit bull?
Vicious, aggressive.
It's as aggressive as a 90-pound pit bull. It's like on my face. After 1 to 2 weeks, the police had entered his apartment after receiving reports from his neighbors about a terrible smell. I always wondered that one time when I was younger, my neighbor, I think I was too young to comprehend it, but I was like, what is that smell from his house or whatever? I thought that he moved. I think he died in his house.
No, he smelled his dead body.
And I complained to my parents, and they're like, oh, it's probably whatever. Leave him alone. And then, yeah, it turned out he died. But I don't know if it was his body or not. Or it could have been sewage, Nick. I'm not sure. It was probably his dead body. According to the police spokesperson, it was like a horror movie. His corpse was over the sofa. What they found was Vogel on the sofa, completely covered in spider webs that were coming out of every orifice.
No.
I said every orifice. Were coming out of every orifice in his body. Like, leaned up his ass. They're like, oh my word. It was determined that Vogel was bitten by a black widow spider, leading to his death. Pieces of him were ripped off by reptiles, some stuck hanging from tarantula webs.
Did all of his pets just kind of roam the fucking grounds with him?
How do you even approach a fucking crime scene like that? If you go inside and you see like a boa constrictor has obviously eaten part of his body, there's like poisonous frogs walking around, you not light a match and just let the place burn at that point? Or how about we talk about the Oregon farmer who was eaten by his own pigs? Pigs are scary, dude. In 2012, 69-year-old Terry Vance Gardner went to feed his pigs, but never returned. Several hours later, a family member went looking for him and found him dead in pig stalls. All that remained was his scattered body parts and loose pair of dentures. Due to the state of his body, it was determined that the several pigs he owned had eaten him. It was noted that Gardner's pigs were—
Yeah, but pigs are known to eat people if you die.
—were much larger than average U.S. pigs, weighing in at 700 pounds apiece.
Wow.
Those are giant pigs. There were suspicions that one of the pigs had intentionally knocked over and killed Terry, intentionally due to the prior event where the pigs had bitten him. So wait, they're saying that this is like straight animal.
They held a grudge.
Farm. The pigs caused a coup. They're like, look at each other like. A district attorney, however, states that a heart attack or other medical emergency was likely the cause of the man's death. Due to the state of Gardner's remains, there was no way to tell what actually caused his death. What do you think, Nick? Do you think pig conspiracy or do you think heart attack?
I think it was pig.
I
bet the wife is like, "Is that pig? Is it?
It's him! It's that pig that killed! How dare you!" Or we talk about a man who was eaten by 3 dogs. In 2020, the Philadelphia Police Department entered the house of a 67-year-old man who had been missing and unresponsive for days. We're already starting to see a pattern. If you're past the age of 60, you need to stop owning all these animals. You need to just, none of that. At a certain age, they're just like, oh, you had your time with them, you're done. The man owned 3 large cane corso.
Oh, no, dude. He probably got eaten to the bone.
Bull Mastiff mixed dogs, 2 of which were not even a year old. He just had these giant dogs. According to the brother-in-law, the dogs were not known to be aggressive. Oh, yeah? According to the victim's brother-in-law, quote, we looked at the side window.
And then what happens? Do they put the dog down or does it get transferred to another owner? See, that's the problem. It's like, even if it's a nice dog, like say, chat, 20, 30 years from now, your mom or dad dies and their pet, like it's a pet that you like, right? Like you've been around them. It's a nice dog, but then it eats your mom. I don't think I'd be able to own the dog. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to like be like, you ate my mother, you know?
No. And we see him lying in the bed and his face.
That's a hard situation.
Was all pinkish. It had been reported that the house was ransacked with the dogs in a
oh, they're required to put him down? Really?
Attempt to find food. As a last act of desperation, they began feeding on the owner's body. Also, are they trying to say too that they ate his face and it was like this the muscle fiber of his face? Brutal, dude. At the same time, like we said though before, if they were my puppers, feed away. Or in 2006, a 54-year-old woman from New York was eaten whole by her 2 pet dogs. Not even just the face, her entire body. That's fun. The neighbor of the victim had alerted the police after entering the home to find human bones on the floor. Oh, these photos, Nick. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wait, there's actual photos of it?
Can we show these?
I mean, it's not gory.
Oh.
Okay, here's the pictures.
I don't know.
Found was a house filled with animal feces.
Yeah, I'm not showing that.
These empty bags of dog food and scattered bone shards. There was a massive...
It's just human bones all over the ground.
Human hair, dentures, and various clothing near the remains. Much like coyotes or wolves, dogs will scatter the
Oh, there's poop everywhere.
It seemed that approximately 1 month had gone by after the woman died, leaving the Chow and Labrador mix
an entire month alone
confined to a small space in the house. Images taken revealed that there were large empty bags of dog food that were tore open on the floor. There was no water
so the dogs actually got into the food first.
source visible, meaning the dogs likely were forced to drink out of the toilet. Although they were trapped for a long time, there was no odor or decomposition stains surrounding the house, suggesting that the consumption of the human body occurred quickly after death.
So,
okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Question. What happens with these dogs? Do they get put down?
You would
That's what I'm saying.
assume they have to put them down.
Yeah, I would assume there's a rule where if like a dog does eat a person, it has, by whatever means, it has to get put down. Because then I also think that might change the dog. I would be worried about the dog changing personality, knowing what humans taste like.
I would assume. If someone gets murdered in your house or dies in your house, don't you have to report it when you sell the house? So that'd have to be the same thing with when you adopt them. In 2019, a 57-year-old Freddie Mac from Venice, Texas, was eaten alive by 18 mixed breed dogs. It's kind of racist to say mixed breed, doesn't it? I don't know why. It feels a bit racy. 18 mixed breed dogs, not purebreds. Catch the drift. When police arrived at his home, his dogs were in an aggressive state, and a police drone had to be used at some points because of how unruly the dogs were to the police. After days of searching,
Why were there so many dogs? Did he run like a fucking facility?
police were unable to locate Freddie until they came across animal feces in a nearby field, containing traces of human hair, clothing, and bone fragments. DNA testing later confirmed that these remains belonged to Freddie Mac. And according to the deputy Aaron Pitts, quote, "Never have we ever, or anyone we've spoken to, heard of an entire human being being consumed." Well, should have got your happy ass up to New York. It happens all the time. Another officer stated, quote, "Our initial reaction was kind of a disbelief because there was just simply nothing left. 2 of the dogs were killed by the others, and 13 of them had to be put down for their aggressive behavior. Out of the 18...
Oh, so not all of them got killed.
2 of the dogs were killed by the others, and 13 of them had to be put...
2 of the dogs were killed by the others. Wait, what the fuck?
Down for their aggressive behavior. Out of the 18 dogs, only 3 were friendly enough to be put up for adoption. So maybe they do put them up for adoption.
And those dogs may have eaten him.
Well, there you go.
How do you sell those dogs?
Maybe the 3 puppers that did survive and that were kind, maybe they didn't indulge. Like, oh, we got pedigree right here, a lot of it. Oh, I don't care.
I mean, guys, we have kibble here. Do we really need to eat him? I mean, he would give us treats now and again. Oh, God, you're eating his dick. Oh.
Or we could talk about cats eating their owners, right? Because similar to dogs, cats have also been known to eat the dead remains of humans. In one case, a man in his early 30s took his own life after overdosing on prescription medication. The man owned 10 cats, who slowly feasted on his face and body right down to the bone. This is so much more weird when it's cats. Dogs, it's like, you know, watching a dog eat dog food, you're just like, you just know you're like, terrible. Cats are very delicate. So like thinking of like a cat, like,
yeah, I don't know. I feel like a dog eating you would be like a big, and they would just rip off a piece and eat it. And it would seem more like, I don't know, naturally animalistic. Whereas like a cute cat eating a human.
Slowly chewing on a face. I don't know why that's so much more worse to me. Tiny mouths, but I think it's just how meticulous, how long it would take. So for it to go all the way down to the bone.
Yeah, I feel like a dog could eat you real quick.
You know how long the guy had to have sit there? You know what I mean? That'd be one thing where I was like, dude, you can eat my body.
And cats can determine when they want to stop eating. Like you can leave food out for a cat. You can't really leave food out for dogs. They'll just keep eating until they fucking vomit.
Days later, he was found with parts of his body completely defleshed. According to a study on post-mortem injuries, there were injuries present on the head, neck, right upper arm, and the soft tissues including the tongue, larynx, upper half of the esophagus, thyroid gland, neck, and right upper limb musculature were missing. Man, dude, the tongue, they went into his mouth and gonna start eating the tongue. In a horrific turn of events, the drugs inside the man's system spread to every single cat that feasted on his remains. And in the end, all 10 cats were dead from lethal intake of drugs.
No! He OD'd, they ate him, and then they OD'd.
That must be testament to how much drugs were in his system. We talked about reptiles a little bit. Let's talk about lizards. Because in 2002, 42-year-old Ronald Huff was killed and eaten by 7 of his 6-foot monitor lizards. It's 7 of them. Where do you keep them? Where do you keep 7 6-foot-long
somewhere in Florida
lizards, bro? His neighbor and his friend Jeff Wildonger, great name, stated that Ronald often let his monitor lizards roam free in his apartment, keeping his apartment as hot as possible to accommodate them. This is a Junji Ito horror manga. Like a person being like, God, the hallway was so hot, and there's like humidity coming from this guy's door, like your neighbor's door. You like knock on the door.
Yeah, he just keeps the AC at like 85.
Opens it. Hello. Huff's past boss admitted that he was once shown bite marks inflicted on him by his pet lizard. So he's even going to work. He works at Walmart, and he's just like, check it out, dude. Gabriel is just so bitey this week.
Gabriel's being a little bit aggressive, and then the next day he doesn't fucking show up to work. I would immediately assume he got eaten.
Which is a big deal since monitor lizards carry bacteria in their mouths that can lead to blood infections if bitten. How convenient. It appeared that after being bitten a week or so prior, he ended up dying from a staph infection that likely led to organ failure. After the smell from the apartment reached Jeff's bathroom next door, he alerted the police, who promptly entered the apartment. Ronald's corpse, propped up by the front door, was being devoured by his 7 lizards, who were covered in Ronald's blood.
Well, I was gonna say also, lizards just swallow shit like whole sometimes.
It's almost like setting up that scene almost as if he was like trying to escape or something. Passed out and like went unconscious. Oh my God, these lizards too. Jeff, who watched the scene unfold, stated that, quote, his cheeks had been eaten off and his molars were where his ears should be. They had eaten his face, eaten his hands, and they actually had eaten into his abdomen and had eaten some of his internal organs. Strangely enough, his neighbor spent the next night creating an illustration of what he had witnessed. What?
Wait, the neighbor witnessed this and then drew that? That's what he saw? Imagine walking into your fucking neighbor's house and seeing lizards eat your friend alive.
You know what's up too, what I hate about this is that he makes the lizard in the front bottom right looks pretty cute. Like he's just like, I don't know, I was hungry. You know what I mean? Also, he really got the fucking lynx tapestry.
Yeah, the cat painting for some reason.
Wall. He's like, but he did have a really cool, like, wild jungle cat tapestry on the wall. Just had to put that out there. While the lizards were transferred to the zoos, one was ultimately euthanized due to being incredibly aggressive, often running towards people with his mouth open. Good God. It also shows with this drawing how that imagery was just...
Why are you even allowed to own these animals? I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to own something that could just fucking maul you like that. I mean, people own dogs, but I don't know. I feel like that's different. That's like a domesticated animal versus a fucking lizard.
Let's talk about pet hippos. But they do look cute, especially when they do that little... their ears. 40-year-old Army Major Marius Els was bitten to death by his 1.2-ton hippo he named Humphrey.
Well, the only benefit there is that's probably a very quick death. A hippo probably bites you in half.
Go ahead, and I want to say that me saying was bitten to death feels like the wrong verbiage. He was mauled to death by his 1.2-ton hippo he named Humphrey, which is a great hippo name. Humphrey the hippo. His body was found... I think Humphrey's a better camel name, though.
Because of the hump.
Well, his body was found submerged in the river where Humphrey was rescued as a baby. Yeah, literally, he's just like...
Yeah, because he won't eat you. They'll just fuck you up and leave you because they don't eat fucking meat, which is also even more crazy. I feel like that it's like more of a disrespect, you know? Like, if you're going to kill me, you might as well eat me type shit.
Marius adopted the 5-month-old hippo after he became too big to...
Wow, little hippos are so cute, though. Look at him. Look at him. He's just a little hippo. He's all slippery.
Take care of by his original owners. Oh, good. So it's just people pass around a hippo. That's fun. Marius claimed that, quote, Humphrey's like a son to me. He's just like a human. And another quote, there's a relationship between me and Humphrey. That's what some people don't understand. Okay, so this guy is kind of like psychotic. He has to. He's like not all the way there. Okay. He regarded the hippo as a lovable and gentle giant. But this is not the first time Humphrey had lashed out against a human. Earlier that same year, a 52-year-old man and his 7-year-old grandson spent 2 hours in a tree after being chased by Humphrey while canoeing in a river that was on Marius's property. The two tried screaming and clapping their hands, but this just enraged Humphrey. Ah! Ah! The hippo's just like, you! Get out here! Eventually, Marius used an apple to lure Humphrey away from the tree. And
an apple?
You were able to safely get away. I like that's all you needed. He's like, Humphrey. Okay, he's such a gentle creature. Humphrey also murdered calves that belonged to Marius's business partner. Full cows, calves. How fun. He also frequently broke out of his enclosure and chased golfers around at a local golf club, which does sound...
I feel like the fucking state would put this thing down, dude.
Like a funny early 2000s movie where a guy's like, it's my pet hippo. But this would be horrifying. Marius claimed that the sound of his voice would lure Humphrey back home. And then for Marius to then have been mauled...
And then also get eaten alive.
To death by Humphrey. He didn't even eat him.
Or yeah, not even eaten alive, just chomped and then thrown to the side.
Left him in the river to drown. This is all I gotta say. I hope Humphrey was able to return to his river home. All right. I don't think the two people that didn't know that he was there and the golfers, I'm glad they're all safe. Marius, you goofed up.
He loved him. Almost in a sexual way.
You think he...
It kind of sounded like it. You just don't understand, Mari.
You never know, dude, with people that have those eccentric stuff. Like I read this, or I listened to this interview about a guy who had like a sexual relationship with a dolphin. He was like a trainer at like a zoo or something like that, or like an aquarium. He was having a sexual relationship, and he got caught and he was fired. But he wrote a book about it. In conclusion, it's a gruesome reminder that inside every cute little animal, every
he was a trainer that was fucking a dolphin.
Every little pupper and
butterball turkey incident.
Little fur baby out there is it's an animal. It's survival. And in any case, animals will get any opportunity to basically, over. And it's especially, they might love you in the moment, but those hunger pains start coming in, they're going to eat whatever they can. Animals are a dangerous, dangerous thing, and they're to be taken seriously. And no matter how many weird TikToks or Instagram reels you see of how cute some of these things might be, you better be warned.
You gotta keep in mind, dude, either some of them are capable of killing you, or if you die, they will eat you. All right, W fucking stream chat. We're gonna call that there. The controversial rise of Jinxie.
Jinxie's journey on Twitch has been nothing short of unreal. From spending years only streaming to 5 viewers, to becoming the #1 streamer on Twitch seemingly out of nowhere. Jinxie's antics on camera have earned him praise, infamy, and everything in between.
This is my world. I know he makes so much, but I would never want to be in Jinxie. Like, I do influencing, right? Like, I that's my job. I hate saying that because it sounds cringy, but like, I do social media, right? But I would never want to be on the top. Being on the top is a curse, especially the Twitch world. Just the amount of hate, the amount of he deals with is so, like, I deal with a lot of that most social media, like, people deal with, but he is so much worse. And it's not even just because it's Jinxie. It's just, if you're the top guy on any stream, you are dealing with all of the bullshit. Kai, him, XQC, Hassan, fucking any dude that has, even Queso. You know how Queso probably deals with so many fucking wackos, man? Like, I deal with weirdos and, like, stalkers and people that are creepy and try and make up about me or are weird. But, like, Queso and Jinxie, those guys are averaging what? What does Jinxie average? 95,000 viewers. Like, you know how many people probably just on him to just him and hate watch and troll? I think, honestly, Jinxie probably deals with it more than Queso. Queso definitely deals with that.
And you're just... However, Jinxie's rapid rise to the top hasn't come without its fair share of controversy.
I'm getting called a view botter. Stick around, I'll get into that, you fucking idiot! 15K bots. Chat, yes, bro, I'm literally getting called a view botter, dude. I'm not even...
Accusations of viewbotting, stimulant use on stream, and being an iShow speed clone.
Stimulant use on stream? What the fuck? He streams for like 4 hours. Stimulant use on stream is something you would say about, like, fucking XQC. Or fucking Summit1G, who's live for 18 hours straight.
And if not, how on earth did he manage to dominate the streaming world so quickly? Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be uncovering the controversial rise of a modern streaming legend, Jinxie, a streamer that seemingly defied all logic to climb the ranks on Twitch, even while playing
134,000 subs a month. And the first 100K, actually, I don't even think it's now the first 100K. I think all of it, he gets the higher sub split. It might be 100K, though. Regardless, though, he's at least making, like, fucking what? 340K a month off of subs?
Sweat Games, where he would play his favorite video game, Rainbow Six Siege. Throughout his first 6 months on Twitch, Jinxie barely received 13 viewers, even on his most popular streams, only averaging less than 5 viewers on a regular day. He even tried streaming other more popular games like Fortnite and Apex Legends, with the hopes of boosting his numbers.
And he used to stream so much. Like, if you go in his Twitch tracker, you can see, I mean, you could do this with any streamer as well. You could just see their statistics from when they've started, like, streaming. And this is Jinxie. Like, look at that. This is his views every month. He started streaming in January of 2019. He would stream 235 hours on some months. And, like, it was just so, it's, like, so random how much he would stream. But, I mean, dude. Just like, yeah, he's still climbing. Like, he has like a fucking 900 viewers here. That's a lot, right? But even into like 2022, I was bigger than him. Like here, I was larger than Jinxie. I was a bigger content creator than Jinxie. And then out of nowhere, fucking 5K viewers, 18K, 30K, 95,000. Holy fuck, dude.
Sadly, it didn't pan out well, as he'd only gained 1 or 2 followers at the time. Receiving poor engagement like that for several months would discourage anyone from further pursuing streaming, and even stop most from streaming entirely. However, that wasn't enough to stop 18-year-old Jinxie from bringing his absolute best to every stream.
To your right, you're fucking ass.
We have been eliminated.
Big deer! I love you, Rainbow!
Unfortunately, being undiscovered in the streaming world wasn't Jinxie's only disadvantage. Not only was his game of choice not a mainstream title, but Siege also faced several major issues, such as the developers lowering the skill gap, server-side bugs, and rampant cheating with
and that's the problem is, like, it's so crazy he blew up because before Jinxie, Rainbow was a fucking dying game. Like, Rainbow Six Siege was, there was nothing wrong with it. It was just losing its fan base. Similar to, like, Overwatch. Like, if you're a big streamer that plays one game, for the most part, your popularity is usually going to coincide with that game. Like, that's why, like, Nick A30, when, like Fortnite now, he might average, like, 3 to 5K viewers. When there's a big chapter event, or, like, there's a season change, or they bring back the OZ season, he'll average 5 times as much as he does now because the game's just more popular, so there's more hype around it, there's more people watching it.
Aimbots. These problems led to a sharp decline in both Twitch viewership and play count for Siege, which resulted in a smaller pool of potential viewers for Jinxie. With some players even speculating that the game was already dead, it only made sense for streamers that wanted to grow to jump ship to another game. Despite this, Jinxie continued to play Siege religiously for the rest of 2019, and focused on being more of an entertaining personality instead of relying on a popular title.
What? He's using what?
Right, he's dead bald there. Oh my god.
On console!
Jinxie's tendency to burst into incoherent rage on stream gradually became a core component of his online persona. However, he didn't do this randomly for shock value. At its core, Siege is a tense tactical shooter game that requires a high degree of concentration, which generally would mean the average streamer isn't going to be as high energy during a stressful situation. However, this doesn't apply to Jinxie, as he consistently lets his emotions run wild whenever he gets a kill or gets killed.
Please.
Yeah, but it's still, he's like not talking when he's locked in.
All friendly.
But now he's dead.
No!
Couple this with the fact that Jinxie had been playing the game for over 2 years before joining Twitch, meant that viewers would be entertained regardless of how a round ended.
Literally bodied. Oh my goodness. Where are you going?
Using a bomb.
Where are you going? You're lost? Dollar Tree headset?
While Jinxie was certainly doing his best to be engaging on stream, he would need to find a more reliable way to attract viewers, since he was still only averaging 5 viewers and had less than 300 followers.
Dude, but 265 hours in 1 month with 5 viewers is a fucking grind. How many hours a day is that? If he streams every day. That's so much more than I've streamed. The most I've ever streamed in 1 month was 105 hours. And I was streaming 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. Maybe a little bit more. Like, that's, yeah, he's streaming like 7-8 hours a day for 5 people. Fuck, man.
Jinxie might have been optimistic on camera, but he knew he had to try something completely different, because if not, his Twitch channel would continue to slowly stagnate and eventually die. By February 2020, Jinxie would implement a simple but effective strategy to improve his follower count on Twitch, streaming for longer hours and going live every single day. While Jinxie—
I don't think, you want my honest take here? I don't think him streaming longer hours made him more popular. I think him going live every day made him more popular. Streaming longer does not make you more successful. It can actually reduce your quality of your content to the point that you're actually less entertaining. And you can see that with most— I'm not dissing streamers that stream more than 10 hours, but the majority of streamers that are streaming more than 10 hours every day are boring as fuck for most of the stream. Because you're not going to be able to sit here and yap for fucking 15 hours straight. Like, the people that are streaming that long are grinding shit out, and, like, yeah, they're a gamer. Like, Summit's a gamer, but Summit's not sitting there commentating the entire fucking time. Like, a lot of the time he's sitting there silent, just kind of playing the game.
Live every single day. While Jinxie had maintained a somewhat frequent Twitch schedule in 2019, he had several week-long gaps that impaired his growth. Now, Jinxie was going live at a set time daily. He would have streams that lasted between 2 and 9 hours, playing nothing but Siege while giving viewers and other—
What a wide range that is. 2 to 9 hours. I'll do like 3 to 6, not 2 to 9.
Players his unfiltered opinions.
Yeah. Yeah. Woo! He's 70 HP after that? Okay, this guy just absorbed fucking shotgun to the nostril and he's like 70 HP.
At first, his new strategy only yielded marginal results, but as the weeks turned to months, Jinxie's follower count went from 300 to 3,000. By the 30th of August 2020, Jinxie would triple that figure and surpass 12,000 followers with an average viewership of 150 live viewers. By being active for so long—
Yo, you know how weird that probably feels to be like one of those Jinxie viewers when he had like fucking 6 people in his stream, and now he's like the biggest person on Twitch, and he was like your small streamer you'd watch when you were bored.
Jinxie had trained his viewers to tune in as frequently as possible to see more rage-fueled gameplay. Smaller creators are often advised to stream or upload consistently, which is a good rule to abide by. However, that's only half of the equation. In Jinxie's case, he was building an audience by improving not just the frequency of his stream—
Bro, but you know what's so weird is, do y'all remember when you first saw Jinxie? Like, I don't remember when I knew Jinxie was a person. But I feel like I knew him before he became big. Like, like his name just was recognizable to me, like, before he even blew up.
But their length and quality. Interestingly, Jinxie would use the second half of the year to experiment with other avenues to grow his viewer base, a move that would change his career forever. On the 15th of September 2020, Jinxie uploaded his first known YouTube video, Jinxie Rage Compilation 1, which introduced his bizarre freakouts to a brand new audience.
Okay, I need to— chat, I'm sorry, I need to lock in. That is terrible.
Repurposed rage clips weren't the only thing that Jinxie uploaded, as he created various gameplay tutorials and 1v1s with fans and fellow Siege
He would make gameplay tutorials, how to solo to diamond
players.
Jinxie versus E2, man. I don't know why so many people want to see this. So, like, yeah, if you guys want to support the stream, consider subscribing. Cronky, thank you the Prime sub. Bro, I wish my face cam was working, but...
Wow, Buddy used to do no face cam streams.
So, basically, this game bans Zoph. Basically, I got, like, literally hundreds of requests to 1v1 him. I don't know why. Like, in one stream, I had hundreds of people request for this. So, I'm all about giving the people what the people want.
Around this time, Jinxie created a TikTok account where he posted similar rage clips to what was on his YouTube channel. Although his first account was taken down for unknown reasons, it was around long enough to allow Jinxie to reap the benefits of short-form content and establish a dedicated fan base on the platform.
This is the official official TikTok of Jinxie. My old one got taken down at 200,000 followers, so make sure you drop a follow on here for daily videos.
A detail that may seem inconsequential.
I think that's most Twitch clip accounts, though. Most Twitch clip accounts just get fucking, like, if you curse, they just get fucking taken down.
But becomes important later, was that Jinxie played exclusively on console, specifically Xbox. Since Siege is a cross-platform shooter, players who want to get an edge like pros and content creators generally gravitate to a mouse and keyboard, even
I
if
don't know why he never switched to mouse and keyboard.
they're playing on a console. This meant that casual or intermediate players who couldn't use keyboards had almost no options regarding tutorials or reaching a higher level. However, Jinxie didn't follow that trend since he played with a controller for years.
What the fuck is that? Is that a normal Xbox controller? Where the fuck are the handles?
Controller for years. This aspect of Jinxie's brand became immensely appealing as new viewers associated him with a stereotypical sweaty console player. He had identified an underserved market of console players and gave them exactly what they wanted. For the rest of 2020 and 2021,
that was for fan mail?
the positives of Jinxie's consistent posting schedule became even more apparent as his Twitch page reached over 200,000 followers, while averaging almost 500 viewers on each stream. Special events like his birthday marathon stream easily doubled that figure. Direct interactions with his viewer base was also on the rise, as Jinxie would host 1v1s and ranked matches, as well as encouraging people to repost clips of his stream highlights.
I am the one who knocks.
By 2020,
Yeah, I remember watching him then.
The
When
shi-
he would be mid-game and he would pause and just fucking send them voice memos.
the volume of viral content revolving around Jinxie's wild antics had captured the attention of the entire Rainbow Six community, especially the game's developers, who would shout him out in a tweet and add an item into the game for him. The first 3 months of 2023 saw Jinxie's online career grow to all-time highs in every metric possible, with 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, millions of followers on TikTok, and an outstanding 53,000 subs on
Oh
Twitch.
my god, dude. Yo, his feeling from going 7K subs to 53K subs, like, that is a life-changing amount of money difference.
As a streamer, Jinxie was in an extremely comfortable position, and other creators who achieved similar success opted to take things easy moving forward. However, Jinxie's competitive nature would never allow for it, as he sought new ways to push himself and his career forwards. One such pattern forward was a direct challenge to the #1 Siege player in the world.
You versus me, mano y mano, 1v1 tonight. Oh, you're the best PC champion. You won a world championship. Nobody cares. Find me on Oregon tonight, 9 p.m.
Oregon?
You better be there. If you're not there, I'm taking that as a duck. You better be there.
To put into perspective how insane of a challenge this was, the Siege community viewed Jinxie as an above-average console player, while Bilu was a keyboard and mouse legend with several
Is that how you say his name? I thought it was Buelo.
pro tournament victories under his belt. Jinxie was clearly the underdog, and all 40k viewers that tuned in on the 19th of March 2023 knew that fact, but they still wanted to see if he could do the impossible.
Bolo?
I'm coming for the throne right now.
That
I'm coming
haircut's
for the
horrible.
throne right now. Bolo is scared. I know.
Is he rocking a fucking mohawk?
I know. Hey, bro. I know!
The first round would go to Bilu after Jinxie failed to react fast enough when peeking around a corner.
Like, dude!
However, Jinxie made a striking comeback following a perfectly timed bomb detonation.
He's big window. He's gotta be.
Wow.
Eliminated. Mission successful.
Rounds 3 to 11 would see the pair trading blows, but never allowing the other to get ahead by more than one win, as the victor of each round was decided in mere milliseconds.
Drop the diffuser.
Just better aim, bro.
By the 12th round, Jinxie was at the edge of his seat, pouring every ounce of skill and focus into the game. But would that be enough to grant him the win?
I mean, he had 45,000 subs at this point. He was fucking huge here.
That operator is so cringe! Revenge!
All friendlies have been
Why did I
neutralized.
not ban it? Why did I not ban it? Oh, GG's, bro.
Jinxie had put up an excellent fight and performed better than 99% of console Siege players, but he unfortunately came up short. While he did lose the match, Jinxie gained the respect of the entire Rainbow Six community and cemented his place as one of the greats. In the days that followed, clips from Jinxie's match with Bilu would spread far beyond the Rainbow Six community and spill into the wider esports world. As a result, millions of people who wouldn't have heard of him otherwise got a taste of his bizarre brand of gameplay, and many of them were immediately hooked. By the end of April 2023, Jinxie had surpassed 1 million followers and averaged nearly 10k viewers per stream.
Oh my god, and he was bigger than XQC, Hassan, Gauls, and Kai.
As well as almost doubling his Twitch subs to over 80k, making him the #1 subbed streamer on Twitch. Looking at Jinxie now, many would assume he blew up out of nowhere, but in reality, he'd been laying the groundwork for his success for over 5 years, most of which saw little to no growth. Jinxie had overcome countless—
I mean, that's really what it is on Twitch, though. Twitch, any social media platform, you're gonna grind your ass off and you're gonna change things. You might see some small progress, but if you really like stick with it, you might have one video that really pops off or a stream that really like skyrockets you and just helps you, and then it's just what you do after that that really, you know, aids you. Me and him are different though, because I mean he blew up on TikTok, which helped his Twitch too, but he was a Twitch to other platform streamer. I was a TikTok to other platform streamer. And the transition's horrible. If you're just a TikToker, moving from TikTok to Twitch and YouTube is fucking hell, because you're transitioning people that watch 10-second videos to watching 4-hour fucking streams and VODs and shit, and that's impossible to fucking transition that audience. I remember I fucking hated dealing with that. I used to shout it out every day. It was such a pain. My views were just up, down, up, down, up, down. It was like there was zero consistency for so long. Even though I blew up on TikTok first and he started on Twitch, it's the same premise that, like, you can kind of, like, grind that out, and then you're going to have a moment where you do really well, and it's just when you have that really good moment, are you going to continue in suit with it, right? Or are you just going to get lazy or not fucking do the shit you need to do or learn from it?
Days of unseen effort and finally got the chance to live a life he could only ever dream of.
Bro, I started streaming when I was 17 years old. I'm about to turn 22 in like a month, 2 months. The amount of motherfuckers that never believed in me, bro. The amount of motherfuckers that'll tell you that you can't do something because they can't imagine themselves doing something. Bro, do not let anyone tell you shit, bro. Do not let anyone tell you anything, bro. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want.
Despite the overwhelming success, Jinxie didn't get lazy as he continued to stream and post daily for the rest of 2023, achieving millions of followers on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. Jinxie, being the largest Siege creator, naturally made him the face of the game. However, that recognition came with a few drawbacks. At the start of 2024, various members of the Siege community would accuse him of promoting toxicity, as many of his younger viewers emulated his less than admirable traits, with posts—
Bro, that's fucking video gaming in general, though, dog. Any fucking FPS game you get on the game, dude, there's gonna be people that are toxic as fuck. Jinxie might promo his level of toxicity, but at the end of the day, he's not fucking changing that. Like, that's just fucking any video game you get on. Val, Fortnite, fucking CSGO, COD, Rainbow, any game with a gun.
Rating, took a couple months off from playing,
Max
and so far, the Jinxie clones are the worst thing to happen. When I came back, I started seeing a bunch of people with Jinxie-esque names, and they always have the worst attitudes and are super unhelpful to the team, as well as Jinxie ruined Siege. Yes, he pretty much single-handedly revived the game, but now it's basically unplayable. Then, there were accusations of Jinxie being an iShow Speed clone.
I look like Speed. It's just this, like, new
Yo,
wave.
what is this? Yo. What is this shit that people calling me a Speed clone, bro? I am nothing like Speed, bro. I am literally nothing like Speed. Oh, wow, we both yelled. Shut the fuck up!
But this wasn't the only instance of Jinxie's success being called into question.
Bro, that's just people gaslighting him. People used to tell me I was a fucking Speed clone.
Rek would allude to him using bots to boost his viewership.
Who would you say is like the #1 botter, like that gets away with botting OD? Like
Shots
bots.
at. Here's what I can say: of the top 100 on Twitch, 75 are botting.
Who's the #1 botter though?
I know who you guys want me to say, but that's what? not the #1 botter. The #1 botter is on Twitch that are botting massively and making a lot of money from it.
I would hard disagree with, and I know, well, I mean, I know Agent and Stable. Train doesn't know me, but I would hard disagree with them. I mean, I don't think Jinxie, if Jinxie has view bots, I think they're not his. I think other people might be botting his stream for him, and he's not even asking them to. Or, and I don't even think that's the case. Like, if Jinxie has 95,000 viewers, I think at most 2,000 of them are bots from, like, 3 rando viewers that are just paying for bots for no reason. And then on top of that, yeah, are there other Twitch streamers that might be botting? Yeah, but botting is a way bigger problem on Kick than Twitch.
And by massively, is this more than 20,000, 50,000? How big are we talking?
I'd say minimum between 10 and 20,000 bots.
While there's no definitive way to prove these accusations as true or false,
and even if it is true, Jinxie has 95,000 viewers. Okay, let's pan into the dumb hypothetical. 20,000 of them are bots. He still averages 75,000 viewers.
Half the fame, he was motivated more by the sheer joy of being a creator rather than the potential success that came along with it.
I feel like most people, especially nowadays, when they get into streaming or YouTube or anything,
they're trying to make money from it.
Their first goal is to make money on it, but you did it because you were passionate about it, and that's how every great thing starts. But like the idea of just like I didn't want to be like obviously like rich from gaming. It was just like, dude, if I could make $1,000 a month streaming, bro, when I got my first Twitch check, I was like, bro, let's go.
Currently, Jinxie still keeps to his daily streams, but has branched out into other endeavors like the Jinxie podcast, which features several large streamers and YouTubers. In spite of the simple formula behind his content, Jinxie still tries to find fresh ways to keep things new, and with his over-the-top personality, it's unlikely he'll ever stop doing that. While there are many aspects to the strategy that got Jinxie to where he is now, his journey was fueled by genuine excitement, enthusiasm, and a passion for what he was creating. It would have been impossible for Jinxie to be so hyper on stream for several hours across multiple weeks if he didn't love what he was doing.
You know what's weird is I'm waiting for the streamers that are gonna get big that are younger than me, you know? Like, when I started out on stream, I was 18, and I started social media when I was 17, like Jinxie. I was, like, really young for a streamer, and now I'm kind of, like, growing into the average age of a Twitch streamer, which is like 25. I'm 22. And I'm just wondering, like, the upcomers. You know, I'm not saying it's definitively you guys, but, like, theoretically, if you guys are, like, 17, you could realistically be the next Jinxie in 4 years.
It was Jinxie's love for his craft that pushed him to go live daily to only 5 viewers, and it was that same love that kept him from becoming complacent when he reached the top of Twitch. Even now, he still strives to be the greatest version of himself, and no other point illustrates this better than winning his rematch against Siege's #1 player.
How does he not lose his voice doing that, dude? Like, that is so much. Fucking WVid, though. Internet anarchist, W creator.